Hello, hello, and welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, guys, it's Synolve. Welcome to our live stream. Now, we are live, and I'm talking today about Kenya tonight. I'm talking about Kenya. Can you believe it? Okay, we're back in East Africa. Y'all, I'm so excited. I have this amazing guest. I have an amazing guest. Her name is Miss Gloria person. Okay, extraordinaire. Okay. She's going to tell you all about the amazing things she's doing and investing in Kenya. She's going to talk about why she chose to move to Kenya. She's going to tell us what we can do to move to Kenya. And you know what I'm saying? Kenya is so beautiful. It's so amazing. She's going to tell you all about her business. I've got links in the description below so that you can connect with her and you can begin traveling and going across the world. Let me do just a little housekeeping. I need to do just a bit of sharing. And so, because sharing is caring. This is the link to the video if anyone wants to share the video. So I'm gonna share this link right here. So if you want to share it and invite people to come, then please do, please share people. And I'm also going to come bring y'all know I don't do nothing without my iPad. I'm going to go over and share this in a couple of places as well over on Facebook and see who we can get on in. Y'all welcome. Come on in, introduce yourselves. Tell me, are you interested in Kenya? Are you in Kenya? We've got an amazing guest today who's just really going to tell us about why why she moved to Kenya. All right. Yeah, why am I moving to Kenya? And this is gonna be amazing. So if you see me looking down, y'all, I'm just sharing on my iPad here over on Facebook so we can bring some people in um, with, let's see, here we are. There she is with Miss Gloria Pearson. I don't know why that's the thing that came up because yeah, that shouldn't. Let me get the right video. Here we are. Get the right video link, y'all. I'm just gonna share it right here. All right, copy the link. I'm gonna put this in and share it right here. There we go. All right. And then we're gonna post that. Y'all, technology is something. So we have posted that now. Okay. And yeah, we're going to bring in our guest. She has an amazing story to tell, some amazing things to share. I am always, whenever I get the chance to talk to Miss Gloria, she is a wealth of knowledge. When I have questions, this is who I go to. I'm just telling you. I look, we don't gatekeep over here, okay? So when I have questions about Africa, when I have questions about moving on the continent, have anything I want to know about Kenya, she knows I am in her. I talk to her. Now, you are going to get that same opportunity now to talk to Miss Gloria and to tell her your plan for moving to the continent and to talk to her about where it is that you want to go and what plans you have for yourself and for your family. And so I'm gonna bring her on. You guys go ahead and share this content. Go ahead and share this. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I've got links below. Miss Gloria, you can send me your also she has a YouTube channel as well. So you can definitely subscribe to her YouTube channel. She has a Facebook group. You can join that, but she's going to tell you all about that. She's going to tell you all about herself, all the things that she is doing. I'm going to bring her on while y'all are sharing. So go ahead and share go ahead and share. Go ahead and share this video. Okay. All right. I think we got a lot done. In the sharing department. So let's get on back over here, and I'm gonna bring my guest on, Miss Gloria Pearson. She's gonna tell you all about herself, and we're gonna get started with this conversation. Miss Gloria, how are you?
What's up? Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone in the YouTube world. My name is Gloria, Miss G, Glow, whatever you want to call me, honey. But I'm excited to be here, and the introduction was just gassy. But yeah, okay, if that's what she say, I'm just out here trying to make it, okay? Because this place over here is cray cray. So I had a little taste of motherland. I loved it. And now I've been very intentional. So I'm out here spreading the word um, to share with others for us to make that exodus because we don't realize um, how powerful we are
Right.
um, as a collective, how important we are to this country, and we've been taken advantage of. And I think that it has come a time, and we're really blessed
Mm-hmm.
um, that we are at a time that we can make choices.
We
Don't
can. Yeah.
ever let them think that we can't.
Mm-hmm.
And we make choices to basically regenerate. And that's what I learned from Miss Synolve, to write your own story moving forward. Don't, dwell in what has happened. Just build on that and move forward, right? So I
Right.
know, yes. So before we go, like I said, let's sharing is caring. Sharing
Yeah.
is caring. So what I always, just one rule that I always ask of the folks on my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is 50 Shades of Glow.
All
Um,
righty. So 50
yes,
Shades of Glow. Mil's gonna put that in the
totally
chat
forgot.
for
Yeah,
us.
50 Shades of Glow. It's a 50 plus lifestyle for the 50 plus and fabulous, honey. And then on Facebook, if people are part of Facebook, you can personally friend me, but the Africa content I made specifically because unfortunately, a lot of folks ain't ready. They're not
Mm-hmm.
ready. Okay. And I need to be with like minded people. So I shared it. I shared content on my personal page and got like a few people kind of being nosy, but I want to connect with people that are very intentional. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and want to make this choice move, however you want to call it. So on Facebook, join the Facebook group Africa Awaits.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Africa
it's
awaits.
Africa Awaits, and it's Africa Awaits if you're moving or traveling to Africa. It's an awesome group. I'm the administrator and the author of it, but it has a life of its own. The people on it, they post, they give information, and I'll get stuff on the thread. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And I'm looking, it's from the group. I'm like, okay, cool. I don't put any restrictions on the group because this is all about sharing right now. And people, we don't know. Like 5 years ago, I had no clue. I didn't know what a Zanzibar to South Africa was, right? So now people, with everything changing, people want to make choices, but they're not sure. They're nervous. And what Synolve and I have talked about offline is the romanticism
Mm-hmm.
of what is shown, but also the reality.
Well,
So,
tell me about, before we go too far, tell me about Glow Glamp Lux Travels and Experience, because now you have a background, a travel background. So share that with
mhm.
us.
Yes. So I worked for. Well, I was I had a uh, branding or an events business. So I'm a certified event planner, love events, love connecting, all that good stuff. And then, but I was a housewife and raised kids. So when I got to the point where, it was me again, I said, I'm going to get back in travel. So on my 50th birthday, I wanted to go somewhere and I would put into everyone else. And then when it came my birthday, it was like crickets. I said, really? So, my trip in like 25 years was to Dubai. And I said, I'm going to Dubai. My girlfriend of mine was supposed to come, but her father-in-law got sick, so she couldn't come. I was very stressed out, taking care of home and all of that. And I'm like, I got to get out of here. I'm going to pop. So I went by myself to Dubai after not traveling for 25 years, right? So I promised to myself every single birthday, I'm going to go somewhere. And then probably into the third birthday, I was going 2 places a year. So that's when I started kind of revving up my travel. Since I had event planning background, people would ask me to put together like reunions. I did like a cruise, like a school reunion cruise and all that, just basic stuff. So I 21. That's the start of my a little into the start of my Africa story, but how Glam Lux Travels came to be. I was a travel and lifestyle consultant for American Express, Platinum, and Centurion. So I planned and booked travel for American Express Platinum Travels, and also I was a support for the Centurion clients also. So got a lot of core exposure there. But what I noticed very interestingly, so I had just came back from Kenya for about 3 months. I just went on hiatus. I worked in the luxury car business for a while. My knees were shot. So I just wanted to take care of myself. And so I had the opportunity to, take time off, and I just, took advantage of as much as I can. So my niece was originally over there. She invited me over. And
now, where was she? Where was your niece?
She was in Kenya. She was between Nairobi and the coast, and the northern coast with Tamu.
Oh,
and yeah, so she was going to get married to this Kenyan guy. And that's a whole nother story for a whole nother
we're gonna talk about dating and
We-
love and the whole
yes, do not get stars in in Africa, because you will. You
ain't got no pearl tips, ain't got no pearl tips.
The chocolate, it's just too much, okay? But anyway, let's focus. Right.
Stay focused, people. Stay focused. Come back.
That's for a whole nother podcast. Anyway. Yeah. So anyway, so I went over in August of 2021 for about 2 weeks. And I was recommended to Zanzibar. Never knew Zanzibar. I was like a Zanzibar. One of my friends that traveled and actually left the country in the last administration. When I was doing research about different parts of the continent, I asked him. I said, I've researched Joburg. I've researched Senegal. What's a good place? And he said, check out East Africa. And I knew nothing about it. But to fast forward on how I got to Glam Lux Travels, to your question, after I lived in Kenya for 3 months, I lived there for 3 months, loved it. Okay. I walked, I was glowing, lost weight, ate just organic food, honey. Like, it was partied every weekend. I just living my best life for real. Okay. I didn't have to worry about a bag. My clothes every day was a swimsuit and and some yoga pants or a sundress. That was it. I mean, that was the best quality ever. So anyway, so when I came back, because I ran out of money, of course, so I got the job with American Express. Perfect. Travel. God is great. So I worked. So during training, one of the trainers said, wow, you lived in Kenya for 3 months. You really need to be a destination specialist. So I said, oh, absolutely. And I'm like, all the money that American Express has, absolutely. I would love to travel through the continent because that's my goal anyway, to hit all of the 54 countries. So I reached out to American Express and, shared with them I would love to take the opportunity to be the destination specialist for the continent of Africa. So they ignored me. So as time went on, they would do these what's the name of surveys, on what could be better whatsoever. So again, I would always put, I would love to be destination specialist. So then I happened to look on their travel. And if any of y'all have American Express cards, just do that as a homework assignment. Go to the travel section. Look for Africa. Look for Africa. Africa can put several of these countries inside of them and still have vast land. Look for Africa on the American Express website. The only countries that were represented on the American Express website was Mauritius and Seychelles.
Wow.
They're not even connected to the country. They sit
Right.
the Indian and the Atlantic Ocean. That's the only countries and those are archipelagos. Those are little islands that's not even connected to the mainland. That's what they had as Africa.
Wow.
Like, where is Kenya? Where is South Africa? What? Are you kidding me? The Masamara. Like, so I really pushed them. So maybe a year or so later, I reached out and I wrote an email to them and said, listen, I see that Africa is not being represented. Do you know how much a safari in the Masamara costs? Like starting at $7,000 on really $10,000 a person. And guess what? Who's not doing the safaris? It's not us.
Right.
Who has $10,000 to $20,000 to chase a gorilla? Not us. So don't tell me that it's not a market. And from what I'm told, it's over 1,200 just in Kenya. Just in Kenya. 1,200 tour operators for safaris. Fun fact, but not fun fact. And we definitely got to change the narrative. That's why I want people to really look at going back to the motherland and putting our resources there. We work hard here. If we took our money, because we are the largest consumers, everyone knows that. If we took that and took it to Africa, and where we are so nervous about losing our jobs, but what we have been taught about, the global society, and we put it in a growing society in the continent, all of us will be millionaires. If several people, and have followed a couple of economists, including Akon, they said the next round of millionaires to billionaires, and not their money, our money,
right,
is coming out of the continent of Africa.
Powerful.
Very powerful, right? So anyway, let me get back on track, because just Africa is just outstanding and an opportunity for all.
Waiting. We gotta come back.
Waiting. And then we won't even get some of us won't even get a passport. That runs me up the wall. Like when someone says no shade, no tea, they don't have a passport after all that we have gone through and where we are right now. I'm like, I can't even have a conversation with you. I can't even have a conversation. A passport is $1 a month for the next 10 years. And you can go anywhere in the world. And the US passport is one of the most powerful pieces of document you can ever possess. You don't understand. Most people have maybe gone on a cruise or to Jamaica, whatever. No, you go international, and you pull out your blue passport on the line at the airport. People stand to attention. I don't know why. They look at the U.S. passport as so powerful, but it's mad respected. And that's one thing that we as Black people
just don't
get by default by being a Black American is the residual perks of being an American. Okay. So that's just side note, right? To get everything start rolling. Okay. So I went to them and said, hey, there's an opportunity. All this money y'all leaving on the table.
Yeah.
So they emailed me back and said, oh, that's so nice. That's so nice.
Pat on the head. Sit on the.
That's so nice. I don't know. Listen, I have never been good with corporate America. 2 Christmases over 60 years. Okay. 2 Christmases is all I'm able to last working for somebody. I've just been that 2 Christmases. That's all. It. 2 Christmases. That's it. They get rid of me or I find another opportunity. But anyway, so they said, well, based on our metrics, no one travels to Africa.
What? Hold that thought. Let me say hello to the people. Hold that thought, Miss Gloria. Let me say hello to the people.
Hey, people.
Chat. Of course, we have Milton in the chat. Thank you.
Hey, Milton.
Thank you, babe. I love you. You know this. Man, you are helping me so much today because look, I was having all kinds of issues and problemos, okay? And there you are. I love you, babe. I thank you so much, sir, for all your help. Thank you, hubby. Thank you. And for being in the chat. You are so amazing. Synovia is in the chat.
Hey, Synovia.
How are you, Synovia? Peace and love to you, sweet pea. And she's saying peace to our special guest. Thank you so much for being here. And to those of you who are not in the chat, come on in the chat, ask your questions. So because I know you got questions about moving. I know you want to be a part of this amazing conversation. Now, Milton, you had a question. Let me make sure. There you are. Milton had a question. What made you choose Kenya? What made you choose Kenya?
Yeah, I get that. That's a great question. I get that often. So, how I ended up in Kenya, as I had mentioned a little bit before, going over to Kenya was a little bit after my journey. What made me start looking at Africa as a livable option was all of us were home during COVID, right? So at that time, I did a little TV, but we were sitting in front of the TV. Right. So all we saw during COVID was our Black people getting killed and folks walking away. And me, my son at that time was 17 and he's 6'2", big guy, like a target. So I always say the biggest untalked about fear, especially in the Black community, is Black mothers and our just nervousness about raising a Black male child in this America, right? So, he's a young kid. We know what the deal is, but they're like, are you tripping? Oh my God, this is that. but it was just so much negativity and
Yeah.
it just wouldn't stop. And I'm the type of person that doesn't get shook easy.
Mm-hmm.
But during that time, I was shaking, and I was shaking badly. And
Mm.
I said, I can't do this. And then it was
Yeah.
probably shootings and stuff. I said, I can't do this. I got to take my black son out of this place. So, but we couldn't go anywhere. All the borders were closed. So, I started working. I got called back. I told you I worked in the car industry. So I had got called back, and I was working there, but still, researching different places. So, during COVID, I was in front of the TV. All of a sudden, I saw, on YouTube, the new South Africa. So I
Mm.
said, that's right. South Africa, because, they keep all the good stuff very quiet.
Right.
So I'm like, that's right. The new South Africa, since Mandela and the ANC change, I heard that South Africa is real different now. So it was a documentary on South Africa now. So it was this young black guy that was the moderator. Well, he did the documentary.
Mm.
Mind blowing documentary. I don't remember what it is, but if y'all go in, and you could probably find a lot of content on the new South Africa now. So he was talking, he was interviewing people, and he was interviewing like white folks that were now displaced because with the ANC and Nelson Mandela and the whole
I'm taking
movement.
notes. Y'all, are y'all taking notes? So y'all have your notebook. You know I'm gonna ask. Okay.
Yeah, put your notes. I'm giving y'all jewels. I am definitely not a gatekeeper.
Right.
I give y'all all the tea. I give y'all all the backdoor tea. So anyway, so he was interviewing white and black people, mostly white folks, and the white folks were crying, and they were living. Now they were in. There was this exclusive white only park
Mm-hmm.
in Johannesburg somewhere. I forgot what the name of it was. No black people were allowed to go into it.
Orania. It wasn't Orania, was it?
I thought it sounded with. I thought it started with an R, but anyway,
Okay.
maybe I'm not sure, because this was 5 years ago.
Okay.
So now this exclusive park where the white folks live life and all of that, it was now basically almost like a refugee camp, because during with the ANC after
Mm-hmm.
apartheid,
Mm-hmm.
the government took everything that was stolen
Right.
from the Africans. They took it from the white folks that was there. So at that time, and it's interesting because now everything's kind of circling back. You're hearing about the white folks who say, "Oh, no, stop. Just stop right there. No, no, no." The
Mm.
deal was, and that back, 30 years ago, and apartheid wasn't that long, 30 years ago.
I know, because look how
Right.
young I am, and you
Yeah,
are. Look how beautiful. You say
exactly. So, so when everything changed, they did eminent domain,
Mm-hmm.
right? The government came in, and if that land belonged to Africans, and the white folks had taken it, stolen it whatsoever, they were made to move.
Okay.
But they got
How did that get you to Kenya? So you went to South Africa. Did you go?
I never went. No, this is why I was looking at Africa.
Oh, I see. Okay.
This is
Okay.
This
Okay.
is to lead y'all up. Boom, boom, boom. So I went to Kenya because my niece was getting married to a guy in Kenya. But
Ah.
but the stair steps was for me to start really learning about the continent. Started with seeing that video, that documentary on South Africa.
Okay.
So found out that the white folks are crying, and oh, woe is us, and it's not us. It was it was our forefathers and our grandfathers, but it wasn't us. So why are we being treated like that? I was like, whatever. So now, since they lived their life as white and did not prepare. When everything is taken away from them, they don't know what to do. And guess what? Still today, they doing the same thing. Same thing.
Same thing.
Same thing. Okay. So, we as Black folks, we've gone through up and down and job losses. And then, I get approached all the time because I'm out, dealing with people. And now white folks are like, yeah, on that interview together. I'm like, okay, and next. and we don't care no more. We don't care. That's your
Black
problem.
fatigue. Black fatigue. Black
That's
fatigue.
it.
We really just don't. We don't have the space or the time or the energy.
No,
right
because
about
they didn't when we was going through it. So it's like, okay, join the club, whatever. Okay. So it's just very interesting to see the whole shift in dynamic now that I hear white guys in Whole Foods talking about buying generic soda and all of that. Very interesting. But anyway, so saw that documentary, and then I started researching, to move to Johannesburg. Okay.
Okay.
So so I was reaching out, trying to research about Johannesburg. So after I would get off work, I would spend like 2 to 3 hours just going on YouTube, seeing if that is what I wanted, putting in Americans that moved to Johannesburg, to South Africa, listening to them. And at that time, it was a Black couple. They're still there and they're doing very well. You should see their house. Oh my God. Their house has like a crystal staircase with like elephants etched. Bad. Bad. They are, it's called The Real South Africa. And they have a big channel, big following. And then I was also following this guy, Go Black to Africa.
Yeah, and she was following Synolve. No, we didn't meet until much later. But let me get to this. Let me get to this particular brother's comments. I'm gonna come back to you, Milton. Doing Garvey TV. Peace, sisters. I'm a kidnapped African. All right, come on. I'm a kidnapped African from America who moved to Kenya. Great move. Look, my email is in the comments. You want to talk about Kenya, sir? You want to come on live? Look, my email is in synolvemedia@gmail.com. Reach out to me. I'd love to have that conversation. Because I think we're all on this journey. We're all on this journey to finding ourselves and finding home for ourselves and finding where we want to be. And then documenting our stories. I think our stories are so important to document. Now, you want to hear more stories like these? You want to have more stories like these, more conversations like these. It's important for you to support Black media. You need to support Black media. Go over to 50 Shades of Glow. Support her channel. She has a YouTube channel. Support her channel. It is 50 Shades of Glow. Support her. Okay, then head on over to Africa Awaits over on Facebook and connect with her. It's important that you share and you are supporting Black media. Now, if you like conversations like this, you want to hear more of these, y'all know as much as I know that the tube tries to play with your views. Okay, because I know I put out I be dropping good stuff. And I know Miss Gloria over on her channel is dropping good stuff. But are we getting the views, the 50,000, the million views that we should be getting?
That's weird.
Now, you need to share. And not only that, you need to be a part of our channels. You need to support Black media if you want to get the real stuff, because they are not going to tell you about Africa. They're not going to tell you this good stuff. They're not interested. They're interested in you staying here, staying right here in this space and in this place and supporting them. So if you want to support Black media, I'm gonna share my information, my link, and you can definitely support me and the work that I'm doing. I'm sharing all this right here. Okay, if you'd like to support my channel, you can. Here you are. Here you go. Now, here we go. Let's get a couple of these comments while we're in here. You mentioned vacations. Yes, vacations and overseas travel is not high on the list of priority for people of color. It does need to change. We don't have passports. We
Mm.
don't. When people are talking about what's a visa, I didn't know. I mean, I was just, I had to really figure it out. I knew about visas from college because I had a girlfriend who ended up being my roommate, was from Malaysia. And I started in college being introduced to people from other countries. And so she talked about her visa. And of course, look, we already see what's going on with Harvard. So if you cut out all of these international citizens, that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. They
Mm.
don't want nobody in and they want to keep you out. And so it's just not that thing. Sometimes we as people we don't even take our vacation. We will get the check, right? Because we need the money because the rent is too high. Okay, so as the brother said in North Carolina, in New York, so we will sometimes not even take the vacation. We won't take the vacation. We'll get the check or have it pay out at the end of the year so we can do Christmas, all the things. But it's time to go home. It's time to go home. Now, Synovia, we know you travel. Okay, she's been to Ghana 3 times and loved it. And she plans to make her move in 2027. Now, you made your move, Miss Gloria. You made your move, and you went to travel eventually. Through the process, you eventually went to travel and went to Kenya. What was it like that very first time when you went to Kenya? Tell us all about it.
Okay. So now, yeah, I'm just gonna skip over the other thing and focus on Kenya because I can talk about Africa for days. So I really can because it's amazing. It's amazing. So when I went, like I said, my niece was supposed to get married to this Kenyan guy. She didn't, but I said we're still gonna have a good time because I want to get away from work whatsoever. Let's start off with the people in East Africa. So I'm gonna split the continent up. North Africa, East Africa, West Africa, South Africa. Each
Okay.
of those zones have different personalities. And we'll talk about the other personalities later in another thing. But East African people, what I picked up, they are very non-confrontational. They're very laid back. They don't even yell. You don't see them fighting and fooling and all of that. They're just very laid back people and pleasant, just a good vibe. Now, I want to give you the romanticized, but I'm going to tell you the real. So this was 2021. I've been back and forth to Kenya about 7 times since then. I went in November of 21. Then I went in, no. I went in August of 21. Then I went in November of 21. Then I went back and stayed for 3 months, January to April in 22. Then I went back in November of 22. Then I went back in November 23. And that
Oh,
was, yeah, so that was the ding ding time because I said, okay, I'm going to travel and get away from the stress of the United States. But 2023 was really my turning point when I said, no, I can't do this no more. So my birthday's in April.
mm,
So in March was when those babies in Texas were murdered in that little private school.
mm,
And when that happened, I said, you know what? No, I can't do this no more. And I
mm.
have 2 grandchildren now. I said, I have to give me and my family options. I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
Give me and my family options. It just can't be okay, a vacation. I saw it coming. I said, I want my family to have options and be able to bounce when it's needed and not be stuck here, and build generational wealth for my grandkids, kids, or whatsoever. And in Africa,
Mm-hmm.
Africa talks to our pockets.
Yeah.
Okay,
Come on
things to
now.
do right to our pockets. I purchased, and like I said, I don't gatekeep. I purchased a three bedroom, 3.5 bath beach house. It's 4 minute walk to the beach. 145 US. It is
Stop. Did y'all hear that?
not 1.4 million, like it will be,
Right.
because a lot, again, what we do, we sit back and wait for everything to be established, and then we come in. We're not. I'm a risk taker, but I'm a calculated risk taker. I've done, I've been a real estate investor and stuff like that. So I just look at the odds. Now, the process.
Let me say something before you go, because hubby and I were talking about, well, hubby and I have owned real estate before, and we owned an apartment complex, and had 5 apartment units, and I've forgotten now how much that apartment unit cost, but I'm just telling you, hubby remembers, but let's say it was like $50,000. Now this is back in 1994, 95, not maybe 95, 96. And it was in the hood. 50 in the hood. When I tell you smack down, I'm talking about in the hood, deep. Like, I had to go Google on a map, because I'm from the country. I had to go Google on the map and see where this even was. Okay. And so the idea that Miss Gloria, has paid $140,000 for a house on the beach. Do you not know a house on the beach in America would cost you millions? Can you even buy one? I mean, can you even buy one? Because millions. Do you hear me? Millions. And here you are, the investment for a home in Africa, beautiful, is $140,000. That's all I want to say.
And you can't now, with how prices are outrageous, the average price for a home in the US is $403,000. And I'm in Atlanta. And I ride by subdivisions that are across the street from the Dollar Tree. And it's saying starting in the 700s.
Exactly.
For money?
No. Exactly.
A 1 bedroom or a studio, they're renovating. They're renovating old motels,
right,
to studio apartments for $1,200 a month.
Right. We were just looking at properties, just right down the street from us, and they want $30,000 for 1 acre. But now listen, now you on that 1 acre, they also have what they want you to build on it. So now the house that they want you to build on is like 2 to 300,000 of dollars. You still got to get electricity. You got to get all this stuff here in the U.S. And I ain't even near no beach. I ain't no water in sight. So the idea that there's so many opportunities. Kenya living abroad. I'm happy you're looking into Kenya. I guess home is calling you too. I knew y'all were gonna come for me, but I knew y'all were gonna come for me because y'all have been telling me Kenya, and I have been saying,
Everybody want to go to Ghana. Everybody want to go to Ghana. I want to go to Ghana. No, y'all sleeping on East Africa.
Right. And I wasn't even, I don't know. I did look at Ghana. I'm not even pissing like, because I was
everybody up in Ghana, girl, and y'all buying land that 20 other people done bought before you. And you won't know it until you start building on it. And then they said, no, this belonged to such and such people. So again, what I was saying, watch folk, still don't take for granted, since you're not in the United States, real talk, and you're in Africa, that people will not try to get over on you. Exactly. They look at us as Americans with money before they see black, we black, like we're brothers. And yes, they welcome you and all of that, but they assume that we have money. And I tell them all the time, listen, think about it. You may see a Black person come for holiday for 1 week.
Yeah.
Do you know how long they have saved to come for that 1 week?
Right.
For that 1 week. And more than likely, they put it on credit cards. I said, when you're in Africa, it's nothing, some stuff they're chilling. Oh, the houses are fabulous. But like just the regular folks, compared to like what we are, the regular folks, if you see that somebody got a car, guess what? They done paid cash for that car.
Right.
If you see a house and you're like, oh, look at that house, it's just a whole bunch of cinder blocks or whatever. They have fixed it to where it's functional inside. It may take 10 years for them to really finish the house, but guess what? They don't have mortgages.
Yeah.
Then they have family land. Other than what the colonizer pirates stole, that's their land, and they own that land. They were mind blown when I shared with them. I'm like, you never own your land in America. Stop paying them taxes that big mama and them left you all these acres and all this house. Stop paying them property taxes and see who own your house.
And see who come get your house. I don't care how much your house is paid for. But look, let me tell you, natural yard. If you are in Boston, a house is $846,000. This is the average price. And I know you don't have no yard. I know you ain't got no yard. I know you ain't even got no. You don't even have a yard. Yes, I know you don't. Look at that. Wow.
My niece just sold her townhouse. So if he's from Massachusetts, she lived in, oh my God, I think she lived in Taunton, and she just sold her townhouse and sold everything. She in Kenya now, honey. And she's about to do a citizenship by investment. And citizenship by investment is $100,000 that they want to see in your bank account. I know she's sitting on about $500,000, and she's over there. And right now she on the back of a motorbike with her hair flying and eating just as natural and feeling good and not stressed. Because when she was in the States, her eyes started swelling and her skin and everything. I haven't heard her complain about anything since she's been over there. So she sold everything. And that's what y'all need to do also. And we'll talk about on another time what you need to do to prepare. We want it all. It's not necessary. And guess what? When you get over there, nobody cares. Nobody cares that you have a Louis bag. No one cares if you have a fake Chanel. No one cares. No one cares. No one cares. You have your little flip-flops. You have your flip-flops, your bathers, if you're on the coast, depending on where you are. But things that we see that's important, people don't even care or notice. They don't care. And that is part of people in the US is so full of stress. It's because we're trying to keep up, and guess what? Nobody cares. We, in our minds, we think, oh, okay, well, I got to have this. It doesn't. I've sold off everything. I went for 2 years without a car, and I'm ready to go. And I haven't missed one thing. My niece sold everything she had. And then even the white people that I've run into, because in Kenya, on the coast, not too much in Nairobi. Now, if people don't know the landscape of Kenya, Texas can fit in Kenya 4 times. United States can fit in Kenya like twice. That's how large just Kenya
is. Now, I've heard about Kenya. And I think the thing that's kind of attracting us to it, because Milton said, "Wow, we can't go. We can't go to Boston. There's no way." And our son used to live in Boston. Okay, our son used to live in Boston, but no, so we know college kids working on master's and PhD. We know how expensive it is, but he says, "Look, I am Kenyan living abroad. Says I am packing back to go home. next year, in the next 7 years, is a close time. Okay, my scales of pain are now over, and I'm going to Africa. Kenya, in particular, knew me better skills than I've ever had before. Look, go ahead. Now, one of the things that I loved when you talk about the size of Kenya, but also Kenya itself, is that for us, for hubby and I, is that there's so much, and I did not
So much.
know that there are so many sides to Kenya. Let me tell you
Yes,
when I found out. Let me
it
tell you
is.
when I found out that there were so many sides to Kenya.
So many.
When I talked to this lady, now I don't know if y'all have seen her on YouTube. I don't know, Miss Glow, if you've ever seen her YouTube, but
Cool.
she has this channel. It's called 50 Shades of Glow. And then
That's
she
me.
has this YouTube. Yeah, she has this Facebook group. It's Africa Awaits. And she was saying, oh, they got the beaches. We were talking,
Yeah,
oh, they got
everything.
beaches. You got Nairobi. They have the
The
nightlife. They
party.
have the
What?
shops.
Oh my God. Nairobi is like Atlanta on steroids without guns, because in Africa, guns are illegal. So people aren't shooting everybody up. They're having a good time like we're supposed to and enjoying life or whatever. Now they may steal your iPhone because they're obsessed with iPhones, but not on the level that we have to worry about. They had one mass shooting in 91.
Mm.
From that time, they like never again. So in Nairobi, if you're at a hotel, they have gates all over everything. You cannot get in. They got security guards. When you go into your hotel, they got the scanner. When you go into the mall, they had one mass shooting. They said they had never have another one, and they have moved on it. The security in Nairobi is off the chain when no one is allowed to carry guns, but they're not playing. They're not playing at all. Totally different.
Totally different.
Totally different.
Now, Synovia is saying over here, it's a toss up between Ghana and Kenya for me. Look, we're going to get you onto the Kenya side.
I'm telling you, because Ghana is saturated, okay? And I personally think at this moment, but Kenya is about to blow up. I told people about getting on Kenya 2 years ago, and now I'm seeing that Khalees, okay, has bought 300 acres of land in Kenya, and she was just on Earn Your Leisure, and she was talking about the different facets of why she loves Kenya. She says Kenya has everything, and it's going to be the biggest global hub in Africa, IT, finance, everything like that. Then you have the beaches on the coast, beautiful, clear water beaches on the coast. Then Kenya touches Tanzania, where you have Zanzibar and the gorgeous water. You have the whole Indian Ocean, right? So that's just the beach part. Then you have the Sahara, the Masai Mara, where you are in touch with the animals, everything like that. Then you have Mount Kenya and Kilimanjaro, where you're in the mountains, and you have that. You have every single type of living and landscape that you can think of in Kenya
alone. And animals and the natural reserves in Nairobi,
right in the middle of Nairobi,
right in the middle, elephant, giraffe parks,
outstanding.
I mean, everything that you want to do, the safaris. If you choose to do safaris, you can do that. I was telling hubby, because I want some of the brothers to come on over. So hubby, when he goes on safari, can have a partner, because she ain't going.
And they have
at the beach, okay?
Right. So the beach and like Nairobi is only a 50-minute flight. It's but yes, the safari, you can take like the initial safari, that the lands that's inside the city. It is natural, protected landscape right in the middle of Nairobi. My clients, ironically enough, I have a set of clients that are in Nairobi as we speak. And what time is it? They're probably getting up. Yep, they're getting up right now because they're coming to pick them up for the safari at 5. So they're doing the safari. Yeah, they're doing the safari and then the giraffe house and then also the elephant orphanage today. They're doing that. But you have every single thing and in Kenya.
Yeah.
So, but
now, Synolve, you know I love you. You know I do, boo. Okay.
what's she saying?
No,
What's
she
she
was
saying?
saying it's a toss up between Ghana and Kenya. Her name is too close to mine, so you know I got love for you. Okay.
Right. So
You know
so
I do.
has Miss Synolve, have you visited Kenya yet? You gotta come and visit and you gotta stay at my place.
There you go.
You have to come and visit, stay at my place. I know people. There's a big, heavy Black expat group in Kenya. When I went over to Kenya last year to check on the house, I put in the chat. I said, I'm going to be over there for my birthday. Anybody want to meet up? Recommend, any restaurants. 4 people showed up in the rain that I never met.
Wow.
Just from the Facebook group when I went to Nairobi. Nairobi is the turn up. So anybody is Nairobi's the turn up, and then you can go over to the coast to chill, or you can go on the mountains, or you can, it's every single thing. But
if you didn't know, welcome to Kenya. Born TV says welcome to Kenya. She's saying Born TV is saying that to you, Miss Glow.
Caribou. Caribou. Yeah.
So Town cheap compared to Boston, but still very expensive. Is that what was that the city that your niece was in?
No, she was in Taunton in the suburbs.
Taunton. Okay, I'm
Taunton.
saying it wrong. Okay.
Yeah, Taunton. Go. But she is gone, honey. She couldn't wait. She closed. She closed on a Thursday, but called the title company on Tuesday to make sure that the funds was going to go through, and she was on a plane on Wednesday. Wow. That's how bad she wanted to leave. So she is there and she is good. But yeah, I am just now going through the process. So again, I live there. I just didn't visit. And what I suggest to every single one, because going and dealing with the motherland and Kenya and really any other place as a tourist, it's like a fine new boyfriend. Everything is just wonderful. It's just wonderful. And then y'all date a while and you see a little thing and then y'all may get engaged. Y'all still in love and you still but it's just so then you start seeing.
Hubby. We about to go renew something. We're going to renew our whole vows over there. We're about to get a whole new.
you start seeing the real. So I suggest to everyone, because what people did back in 2020, they were so done. I met this lady. She was retired military, and she said she was so over it that she said she had to go, or she said she was too old, and if somebody got in her face, she was going to catch a case. So I always tell her story, and it makes me laugh. She said she bought a one-way ticket. It was $600. And she jumped on a plane and prayed the whole time that nobody would stop her, because that was in the height of COVID. She left on election day, 2020. She said she didn't care about no pearls. She didn't care about no chucks. She didn't care about nothing. She was out. She was out.
That's me. That is
she was
me.
out.
I don't care about them. Now, Synolve, you make a good point. I like the current president of Ghana now, Mahatma. Yes. I have covered him in, and I think he'd been a former president. He'd been the president before, but I have covered John Mahatma in some of the videos that I did about Traore, and I really was leaning towards Burkina Faso, and still may get
Burkina Faso. What? That's what you don't need to jump on for real. I'm leaning that's where you need to be for real, Burkina Faso.
I'm leaning towards getting some citizenship over.
And you can get free citizenship in Burkina Faso right now.
Wow. Now, and I like the president. I like the president of Ghana, and I do like there are certain areas that I like that are very airy and beautiful over in Ghana. But look, I'm just telling you, Kenya is got it going on.
Is
In
it
Kenya,
Kenya?
you
Yeah.
can. We're gonna talk about this because Kenya living abroad says laughs on me left in both freehold and leasehold land from my
Mhm.
great grandpa to squeeze in a small room building. Nothing over years, only gain knowledge of what the world was like. And that was another reason to me that Kenya stands out above the rest because the issue of freehold land or the 99
99
lease
years.
land, yeah, the 99-year lease land in Kenya, Miss Glow, you can own your own land in your own name.
But you have to be, and
Mm-hmm.
this is smart, and a lot of the other African countries have done it because of the pirates and the colonizers. Um, you have to be a Kenyan a Kenyan citizen
Mm-hmm.
or be married to a Kenyan
Okay.
because they put that in place. So you can own a house, right? So
Okay.
the house I have, I will own when I pay the mortgage, right?
Right.
But the land will be the government. So when I put that house into the final deed, it will be on a leasehold until I become a Kenyan citizen.
Citizen.
So, yeah. And they did that to protect so the white folks would not come up and buy
Right.
all of their land. At this time, if land you cannot buy is agricultural and farming land that is probably is so well priced, but they will not sell it to you because that is one of the resources for Kenya is agriculture. So the land is cheap to, farms. You can buy farmland dirt cheap, probably a couple of acres or like $1,000 is cheap, but you can't do it as a non-Kenyan citizen. You
Mm-hmm.
have to, they're very protective about the farmland because that's where the money is. So they keep it protected, and I appreciate that. Now they was talking about the president. Nobody likes Ruto. Hope he, goes about his way. The Gen Zs are kicking butt and taking names.
Right.
I really appreciate them for that. But it is Kenya, Nairobi. So Kenya
Well,
is like,
I was gonna say, not to sorry to cut you off. Just the
mm-mm.
Ruto conversation. The one thing about Ruto that I think was that has been interesting to me is that he did go into this whole thing of saying he wanted to do was it free visas for everyone. Now they they
liar, 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 pants on fire, liar.
now
He
he
did, he did this.
yes he did.
He,
Now he quickly
you want some coffee?
no, thank you. I'm drinking my tea, y'all. I'm
He
drinking a
did
mix of
that.
this.
He he went and made a whole press conference, and
Did
that was at the time that I got my house. I was like, yes, yes. Look at the president. He giving free visas. We don't need a visa to go to February, honey.
that
All
didn't last
was
long?
this ETA. It's and the questions were the same. The only thing different,
Yeah.
it was $15 cheaper. Like
Mm.
if you did the regular visa,
Mm-hmm.
it was $51 for a single entry visa. Now it's 34 through it's the e visa,
It's yeah
whatever it is called.
that long e name ENA something.
Yeah. So he can't be trusted or whatever. So I just hope that they get him out of there. But yeah, wasn't cool. Yeah, I'm not cool with Ruto, but
But that's still the one thing that Ruto has done, and that he has made Kenya exceptionally business friendly. Now that he has done, And I don't know that it's mostly him or the, the Senate and the, the people who work with him, but Hobby, we're gonna give him a little we're gonna give him now. Milton says there is nothing wrong with the frugal lifestyle. And you mentioned that before, you were talking about the purses. Nobody cares about your Louis Vuitton. No one cares. There's so many Kenyan brands.
Oh
There's
yes,
some beautiful you sell
yes.
purses. I wanted to
Yeah,
talk
where's
about
my
this
purse?
because you have
Where's my
beautiful.
purse? I'm gonna get my purse.
Go
Hold
ahead
on.
and get your
Where's
purse.
one of my
Girl, get your
purses?
purse.
Get my purses.
So she has beautiful, she's gonna come back, but she has beautiful purses that she sells. There's beautiful Kenyan jewelry that the Maasai make. There are even Ethiopian jewelry. I was looking at on the coast, some of the jewelry that's there. The craftsman will actually, if you see my ring, now, this is not Kenyan, but I'm just saying an example. They will actually make a ring for you right there on site. You can design things. The same thing with the clothing. Now, they have beautiful purses, beautiful purse. You all see that? Look
This
at
is
that.
made out of the baboa tree in Kenya, handmade by the women in the village in on the north coast. All hand beaded, all no sewing machines, no anything. All of this is hand done. Kenyan leather at the bottom, and all different styles. And this is Kenya
Ooh,
specific.
that
Really,
goes with
really.
my blouse.
This is crossbody, really, really cute and fun. And then here's another one of my favorites that and this is made from all natural, no plastic. And then this is like a jute with the
Mm.
Kenyan leather. It's almost like, it reminds me of the old school, you remember spy bags or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the Kenyan leather.
Now
Really,
this is
really cool.
real luxury. This is
Yeah.
luxury. This
Yes.
is real. The
Handmade.
Mother Africa
Handmade.
is
No one else will, you will not walk down the street and see anyone else with
unique.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Synovia says, Mother Africa is nothing to play with. You better ask somebody. Come on now.
Let me
You
tell
hear
you
me?
something, y'all. Africa, because with Africa Waves, as Synolve was talking about, I started, people would ask me a lot of questions about traveling. And they're, oh, is it safe? Oh, is it safe? I was wondering that you're going, oh my God. I'm like, wait a minute. You walk out and go to Walmart every day. You walk out your house, your front door, and get in the car and go to work. And you asking me, you're worried about me in
Right.
Africa, please, okay?
Come on,
So
somebody.
people would ask me a lot of questions. I said, you know what? Let me start doing a live and say, let's talk about Africa. So I did that, and I wanted to delve deep and talk about every single country in Africa, good, bad, whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Africa is a continent. Africa is a continent.
Come on, somebody. Preach. You preaching now.
Africa is a continent with
Uh,
54 countries.
there you go. 55 if you count Morocco, because they playing nice right now.
And just massive. And what I have found in my research, because I do a lot of research before I do the live, almost no, every single country in the Africa that we see, not the 125 archipelagos or the little islands in the water,
Mm-hmm.
is made of gold,
Mm-hmm.
gold and diamonds and iron ore. The entire continent is made of that. No other continent
In the world.
in the world has the resources that
Africa.
Africa has. Africa has, of course, the diamonds, gold, silver, iron ore, copper,
Lithium.
lithium. Every single cell phone is because of Africa's resources. I forgot whatever the natural resource that's in the lithium battery
Mm-hmm.
to operate to operate every single cell phone. They
Mm-hmm.
even
Is it cobalt? Is it cobalt? No.
it's not cobalt. It's another that's another resource, but it's not cobalt. I forgot what that
Hubby, do you know what that is?
what that resource is. He could Google it, and it's what goes in the lithium battery, and you can only get it from is it Congo? That's the whole where they're I believe it's out of the Congo,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
that's it gets really deep and messy, and you
Mm-hmm.
wonder why a lot of strife and everything, and like with
Yeah.
the different Mali and Togo and
Mm-hmm.
Burkina Faso is telling the French to get the hell on, is because they're sick of the French. You cannot get me. I'm a travel agent, and I will book my clients. I love Delta, but I will try to book my clients on, Kenyan Airways or Ethiopian Airways or Egypt Airways, only because Delta or KLM goes through Paris. I won't buy a Kit Kat.
I was just saying. I was just.
I will
Oh,
not buy a Kit Kat in the
cobalt.
airport at Charles de Gaulle or on a layover. I will not.
Mm-hmm.
Of all of all of the resources and money, if you see Paris looks the way it does because of Africa. Because
Burkina Faso
all
should
the
look
money
like.
and the resources they sold and took the slaves and have them build it the same thing here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, Paris, Britain, and Portugal. Portugal act nice and it's in the corner, but Portugal got dirt under their nails too.
Spain.
And I look at all of them sideways. But Paris, France, of what I have researched and I give to my viewers every night I do a live. I'm going to restart it on the 15th because I'm getting clients out on their vacations. I'm going to start it back on the 15th, 9 p.m. on Africa Awaits and on YouTube. And we're going to let's talk about Africa, living and traveling there. But all of what they have stolen, and then had the nerve to give us, just think about this, give us independence from what? To ourselves. We are independent. We had to pay for our independence when you came on our land, took everything, and then we're getting independence from you. But you on our land. Like how
Mm-hmm.
that work? And
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like it's such a rabbit hole that I'm like, okay, I need to be in my own space. And every single Black person in the United States
Mm-hmm.
needs to go to the continent.
There you go.
If I don't care where you go, you need to visit the continent and experience the continent. Now, the only thing, okay, people may be too old or they don't want to, they're too scared to fly that lane. Okay, gotcha. But you owe it to yourself before you leave this world that
Yes.
that we have been blessed enough. We just think about it from what our forefathers have come through. Like my parents would
Right.
just be blown away
Yes.
that there was a Black president they never saw,
Mm-hmm.
a Black vice president woman they would have never imagined.
We're
You know,
gonna not, we're not gonna debate that today. We are not
you know what
kings.
I'm saying.
We ain't go
You
of that
there was a
of that
Black woman
complexion.
vice president.
Of that complexion. Okay. We not let
You're
me
funny.
get
You're
look,
funny.
let me get to Kenyan limit. Let me get first of all, lithium ion batteries rely on raw materials with lithium, cobalt, nickel, manganese, and graphite.
The
All right.
yes, I think it was the magnetism. Yes, yes.
Y'all know I got my iPad. Y'all, but here we go. So, Kenyan living abroad, Indigo, talking to you, Synovia. In living abroad says Indigo, let President Ruto burn the Kenyan dream. He is the holder of the office, but doesn't own it. But the people are, and that's the
Yeah.
difference. That's the difference. I think as much as Ruto is Ruto, okay,
Mm-hmm.
there are things about Kenya that make it special and unique because
Yeah.
the people can still have a life. It's not quite like it is in America where they run every single thing. Now you have other countries, we ain't gonna name those, that are like that. Now Synovia
Mm-hmm.
responded back, y'all are so sweet. I love y'all and helpful in the comments. I hear you, Kenya living abroad. Thank you. I love y'all. Okay, but let me get on down so we can get off Rudo's back. um there was another comment when I read down here. Oh my gosh, y'all, this is the comment. Oh, there it is. Natural Yard says according to Google, nickel, manganese, cobalt, graphite are in the lithium batteries. Come on through, y'all. Come on, y'all.
They doing their
Yes.
research.
Yeah, Milton says, nope, I agree. Do not travel through Paris. Same here, sister. Boycotting everything from France. You better ask somebody. Okay.
Yes. I won't buy a Kit Kat. I'll go into the lounge and eat the free food, but I won't buy a Kit Kat or a coffee at Charles de Gaulle. Absolutely not. Not from what I have researched and read. Every single thing. The Eiffel Tower.
Oh, yes.
What money? Haiti. But they say Haiti's the worst and Haiti's so poor. No, they keep in Haiti poor to get all. It's
It is what it is, but a change is coming. Now, Kenya Living
quickly, yeah.
says, abroad says, I think it's Colton, where they said it presents half of Kenyan territory. All right, Colton. All right, y'all got Colton. But it was this comment that was about um okay, I guess it's the law, not him at all being guided by the constitutional law. That's why he dropped the financial bill last year because it was unconstitutional. Okay, and that's the thing. You have presidents who it's a different thing on the continent. It's definitely a different. It's a different
And
thing.
the Gen Zs are no joke. The Gen Zs are no joke. The Gen Zs, from what I see in Kenya, they are they're educated. They're
Right.
making sure they're educated. The girls are not being baby mamas like
Mm-hmm.
some places,
Mm-hmm.
and they are professionals. I met a young lady that I'm really close friends with, and she recommended me to her school friend that happens to be the director over diaspora banking. If anyone knows, the banks in Kenya, of Diamond Trust Bank. She
Mm-hmm.
is 32 years old. She is 32 years old, and she is the director over diaspora banking. The girl that recommended me to her, because I'm trying to get a mortgage on my house, that we're going to talk about that process. That she owns. I went to an event, and it was, folks that, and the event was like $160 US. And that's nothing for us, but people that I know in Kenya, they're like, oh my God, you're rich. It's like, getting Beyonce tickets or something like that. And I was like, no, Beyonce tickets was $250 for the last row in the stadium. So, but I went to it. It was wonderful. So I was talking to a young lady I met at the table.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, what do y'all do? Because usually we really run into going into other countries are like service people. So she says, oh, well, everyone's professional or whatever. She said, well, I own my own company. I
Mm-hmm.
own a construction company. She's 31. Well, was 31.
Wow.
31, owns a construction company that builds dams.
Now.
31. That's how they are rocking in Nairobi.
Yeah.
They're no joke. The Gen Zs are no joke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're no joke. They're not walking around and having babies on their hip and all. No, they're about their business. They're
Now
about their
let's
business.
business. These are some very business minded people. Let me now. Facebook is there. There's
Hey,
Trust
Facebook.
City. Yeah, they are there. And so you've got a lot of high tech things. This is they're calling Kenya the new Silicon parts of Nairobi,
Yes.
the
Yes,
new
the Silicon Valley.
new
Yes. The
Silicon Valley. The Valley. Now I cannot find this comment. The comment said, "Y'all gonna have to trust me on this one because I don't see the comment. If you made this comment, please put it back up." But it was something to the effect of, "We need to ask Dr. Moombi about how safe Kenya is." Look, let me just
Who's
tell y'all,
who?
Dr. Moombi,
Who's
Saraki,
Dr. Moombi?
Dr. Saraki Moombi. Is that her name, Saraki?
I don't know who that is. Who
Okay,
is that?
y'all, look, y'all, okay, y'all ain't fixing to get me in trouble, because Dr. Movie said that she was attacked in a car accident. She was attacked by because for speaking out against um Ruto. So we ain't fixing to talk about Ruto. we ain't fixing to talk about y'all ain't
What?
fixing to get me in trouble. But I was like, oh my god, when I saw that comment, that was the comment I'm looking for. Maybe it'll pop back up. But y'all are funny to me. I know the person was really joking, but y'all, I know you look, that was so funny when I saw that. And shout out to Dr. Mumbi Suraki over in Kenya. Love you, sis. All right, now Natural Yard says Mombasa is beautiful from what I
Yeah.
see in the yes, it is
That's
Mombasa. Oh
yeah,
my
that's the
gosh.
that's the southern. Mombasa is at the southern tip where I am, where my place is. I'm frozen. Why are we frozen?
You're not now. You're moving
Oh,
on
okay.
my end.
Okay. Mombasa and Diani is
Mm-hmm.
on the lower end of the coast. Where I am particularly is on the northern. That's Malindi and in Watamu. So Mombasa is more city-like and more touristy. So you see a lot of tourists. Watamu and Malindi. Okay, I'm giving y'all a little tea again. So
All right, take your
Malindi,
notebooks out.
I'm giving y'all some tea, some tea. They can run, but they can't hide. So when I first went, my niece told me that it was a thing with this jungle fever thing. And I was like, okay, well, you see that sometime. No, it's a thing, like a serious thing. For whatever reason, and I have asked several Kenyans, why is there such a concentration of Italians
Mm-hmm.
in on the coast in Watamu and and uh and Malindi?
Little
To
Italy.
the it's little they call it Little Italy. How dare they? Yes, they call it. You wouldn't believe it. You're like, am I in Africa? Because all I see is Italian people, Italian white guys with Kenyan black girls, young, okay, pretty, and then I see Italian older women with the blackish, dreadish. Dude, I'm like, your daddy would flip in their your grand. Yeah, they leave Italy, sell everything, and come to Africa. Don't let those white folks fool you and say that, oh, like, because when they get to when they're over in Jamaica or wherever in Africa, honey, the beach parties, they dancing better than me. Yeah.
They just don't want they just don't want to you they don't want you to see how good that good it is. Now Andrew says that he's a Kenyan living in Australia. Here the median price of homes is $1 million. This is why you have so many Australians moving to Japan. Okay, okay. And they're over there getting those homes, right, that the Japanese have left
Mhm.
behind, and going to Kenya, going all throughout Africa. An average
Right.
mortgage is 6,000 per month. I make 150,000. That's a paycheck to paycheck after
It's
mortgage payment
paycheck to
and
paycheck
expenses.
living here.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Now, Natural Yard says most African diaspora are moving to West Africa. Look, I'm just gonna say, I was in that mentality of moving to West Africa. I was like, for the longest time, I was West Africa, or even South Africa. Now, I have not gotten my ancestry test, but I know what I do, the little research that I do have. I have um uh, whatever, minor in African studies, and so I have one of the things that I studied was my hair. Okay, because I need to know where my
Mhm.
hair came from, and it coils like the Sun people. My hair is
Mhm.
does coils. Now I straighten my hair myself because it can coil so tight that it's just a bit much. So I was really South Africa, I was West Africa, and so a lot of people are moving to the diaspora, moving to West Africa. One of the things about East Africa for me is opportunity. I'm gonna talk. Oh,
Mhm.
there she is. She's unfrozen, but it's opportunity, and so that is what I was like. Well, I can visit anywhere. Just like I'm from Mississippi. I wouldn't necessarily want to go back there to live, but I chose to go. We've lived in other places because of opportunity. We lived in New York. We lived in Michigan. We lived in Indiana, and we chose those places because of opportunity. Can you speak to that, Miss Gloria? Why would someone who's African American living on the continent, or choosing where they're going to live in the continent, coming from America, why would they choose East Africa?
Uh, as you
No.
said, the opportunity is there more now. As you just mentioned, you were heavily looking in the mindset of West Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Marketing is amazing.
Mm.
So at first, after Nelson Mandela and the ANC, and after apartheid, and South Africa turned around, that was the hot place. So
Right.
everybody wanted to go to South Africa, right? So now, since 2019, the year returned, and Ghana came up to the front of the congregation. Now everyone, and you got a lot of people got their land, and you went back to Ghana for that. Then everybody wants to do Ghana because that's Ghana was in everyone's face. So now it's
Full
East
circle.
Africa's turn. It's East
Mm-hmm.
Africa's turn. So, but even before Ghana, actually, it was Senegal. And it
Mm-hmm.
was Senegal. People
Mm-hmm.
had their focus on Senegal because of Akon, that he was going to do Akon City. And then it fell apart, unfortunately, during COVID. He had it started, he had the investors, he had investors in Dubai, and he really had a gorgeous landscape. And I was looking to move there. He had, the currency, the cryptocurrency, and the whole Wakanda look or
At,
whatsoever landscape. And I said, ooh, I think I want to move there. And how time flies. It
mm-hmm.
was, I think, 2020, 2021. And they said that they should be working on it by, it's slowing up because of COVID, but they was going to start again. And by 2025, they should finish. And that seemed like a long time ago. And we're here 2025.
Yeah.
So people had their focuses on Senegal because of Akon and Akon City, but unfortunately, that just went flat.
Mm.
So then you had the year return. So the
Yeah.
year return was right before COVID. People went, and now the focus was on Ghana. And then from the year return, and just how powerful we are as far as our dollars go. We have no problem spending. We spend here, but we're going to spend wherever. And that boosted every economy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When we come and show ourselves in numbers, things shift to such a degree. It's
Degree.
crazy. It's
Right.
crazy.
I was gonna
So,
say that, one of the things that started it all. Now, people have been going to Ghana for a while because since the 70s, since Ghana first opened up and got their independence. But
mhm,
then and you've had some people going to Nigeria. There's still people in Ghana out far out that African Americans that you would never hear of. They're not talking. They live there in peace. But one of the things when Roots came out, then it put a lot of attention on Gambia, and Gambia would have their yearly festival, and so everybody was really focused on Gambia for a while. Are you frozen over there? Now, looks like she's frozen. Let's see. She'll come back.
yeah, I'm
Um,
coming back.
so
I'm
now
coming back.
it says that I lived in Mombasa with family. In Mombasa, it was humid and calm. The people were honest too. Nairobi is fast and efficient, on time. I guess most people, where is it? I guess most African cities, the climate of Kenya is something else. Yeah, the climate of Kenya, I've heard, is excellent.
Hmm.
um let's see, making sure, yeah, is excellent. So that's something, that's important too, because Kenya has a beautiful climate. It rains in Kenya as well.
Hmm.
There's quite a bit of rain, especially in the sometimes on the beaches. Is that Mombasa that has a lot of rain, and I noticed Nairobi had a lot of rain too sometimes.
Most of the African countries, are y'all hearing
Yes.
background with me?
Yeah, we're hearing you.
Do you hear me? Do you hear like an echo?
Yeah, we have a little echo.
All right, I
Nope,
may
go straight.
come in and go out and come back in.
Okay.
But what I love about the continent, the ecosystem is not messed up like here.
Mm-hmm.
Every part of the continent, they have a rainy season. It's not all this weird, screwy weather. So we know in certain countries, like now, Kenya, especially the coast, it's the rainy season now. It's the rainy season from like end of April to August. So that's when it basically cleanses itself. So when you go to the coast, when you go to the coast, it's it's crazy because the beautiful, clear, blue, white water is black,
Mm-hmm.
black because it's purging itself.
Yeah.
Here, we don't know how the weather's gonna be wherever. The weather crazy.
It's May and I'm in Tennessee. I'm just outside of Memphis and I got on a sweater. You hear me? I mean, this weather this year is and farmers are already saying that they're going to have a hard time growing this year. And so because of, well, we ain't finna, we have to have
Right.
a whole show on him.
Another
But
show.
so look, doing Garvey TV, no conflicts. I think hubby's giving me tech advice. I figured it out. I took that. She was in there 2 times and I took it out. My
Oh, okay,
producer,
thanks.
y'all. My producer is
I love it. Because I'm like, well, maybe I'm in there twice.
My
Yeah.
producer is over here helping me. Thank you, Milton. I love you. No conflict, but watch who you befriend because jokers got angles. I had to go through a couple of jokers before, and he put that in all caps before I was able to take care of business. I good advice. Somebody got a story.
I'm screaming. Yes. Yes, yes. Beware. Stay prayed up.
Of the jokers.
Serious. Me in this journey, it started off all cute. Like I said, it's like meeting, you think of Mr. Right. And it starts off cute. And you run into some jokers. And the crazy thing for me is, and I don't know about for y'all, probably the same if people are going through this journey, it be folks from the US that got over there, and you think, okay, because all of this is new, they're gonna help. All of a sudden, they want to charge a $50 consultation fee, $100 con. But for them to share with you what we sharing right now, to give you tips, when all of us should have a goal of getting to where we need to be. And I get monetizing, and I get people, you getting calls from people all the time getting info. But more than likely, 90% of the people aren't even gonna follow what you tell them anyway. So it's not like you're losing anything, but we're gaining if we are able to make a shift and if we spend $1 trillion something
Mm-hmm.
in the US, if we took out 30%, just
Yeah.
30% of the black people moved out of the country, don't have to be to Africa. Would I don't the United States is gonna be a third world country in like 20 years. I hope y'all know that. The United States will be a third world country in 20 years.
Look, I read a post today. When she says this, I'm laughing because I read a post today, and I promise you, they were complaining about some of the apartment complexes that are in Memphis. And the person wrote, I promise you, I snapped a picture. The person wrote, there are apartments in Memphis already that look like third world countries. We're already getting there with our bridges being dilapidated. Look, if they don't get this Department of Ag stuff straight, and I don't even know what you're gonna do because hubby and I farm. So if you don't already have seeds in the ground, and we haven't been able to do seeds this year because child, we trying to get on the exit plan. I got a group called BlackXodus. Okay, with this BlackXodus, you understand? Okay, so
Yes.
join my group on Facebook. But
Yes.
but if they don't get this food soon, you gonna have some stuff. You gonna have issues between the tariffs and and we have sounded the alarm because hubby and I
Grow your
did a
own
video.
food.
Yeah, we did a video on agriculture, but it's important because if they don't get this together, 20 years it's gonna be bad, and by the end of this year it's gonna already be bad. Now we got Kenya Living Abroad says we got a beach desert like Namibia and deserts almost similar to
Yeah.
Dubai.
Yes.
Chabi
Yes.
Chabi
Yes.
Desert. Am I saying this right, y'all?
Yes.
Chabi
Mojave.
Desert.
Yeah. Yes.
Chabi.
Yes.
And Natural Yard says um Zanzibar reminds me of the grill, Jamaica, many foreigners and Europeans. Now that little
All
Italy,
white.
the Mombasa,
White. White.
Mombasa
White.
is yeah.
Mombasa is a mix, but Zanzibar is very white.
Okay.
Very white. You go up the coast. On the coast, that's where you see them.
Okay.
They won't
That's
go
where
into the city. They don't
look
won't go into the city.
when y'all were talking about beaches. Now I've seen 7 Mile, and you all know because Natural
Mm-hmm.
Yard, you came because I did videos. At one time we were really looking at Jamaica. We were looking at Jamaica. We were looking at the Caribbean. I looked at Jamaica. Hubby and I were looking at Barbados, and even Grenada because I love spices and spice style. So I
Mm-hmm.
was really looking at them. But if y'all the beaches in the
It's drop dead
coast,
gorgeous.
that water
Drop dead
is
gorgeous.
so clear, it's
So
see
clear.
through.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, I'm telling you, it's beautiful. It's
And
beautiful.
in addition to that, on the coast, like I said, I'm up in the north, and when I lived in Watamu,
Mm.
I would be on the beach. I would be, laying. laying, on a lounge in the beach, and it's a fisherman. It's, the coast has fishermen. So they will come back. They will come back from fishing, and you see people gather over by the boat to buy fish, whatever. But you're laying down, and the fishermen will come with live lobsters they just caught. They would take it to the restaurant. Somebody will order it, or I've seen people. I've seen fishermen come out of the ocean with white snapper, not red snapper, white snapper.
Wow.
And they're holding it, and they'll walk up to you and say, "You want to buy this?" Still, just caught it. They would fillet it, put it in a bag of ice. You take it home and you cook it. It's
You
not went from here to there and here to
everywhere.
You just saw it come out the ocean. You just saw it come out the ocean.
Wow.
And less than 2 hours later, you're eating it. The same thing with the meat. Y'all know how much oxtail costs, right?
Yes.
Y'all know how much oxtail costs. So when I was there, I asked them for oxtail. So obviously oxtail isn't really a thing there. So they said, I went to the butcher because they have butcher shop. Everything's fresh. So it goes from not from process and this process and no. It's from the slaughterhouse to the butcher shop to you. So I went and asked for oxtail. So the lady said at the butcher shop, I'll put an order in just if they get some oxen and to make sure they get the tail. So 2 days later, she says the tail, they just got an oxen. The tail will come tomorrow. I went to pick up the tail the next day. Now, I ain't never seen, I seen oxtail that we see in the grocery store in the little cube. When I went to get it, they're holding this tail. I was like, I don't want to see it that way. See it that way. I don't want to see it. Could you please cut it up in pieces? It was like 4 pounds. Do you know how much it cost me? How 4 pounds of oxtail, y'all. Y'all know how much 1 pound of oxtail is?
Yeah, because I got a box in my freezer. Yeah, I do know.
Okay, why did I pay $4.25 for it?
Wow.
I don't even think it was that much. I think it was like 450 shillings. So that's what, like $3? $3 for 4 pounds of oxtail that lasted me 4 days cooking. 4 days.
Wow. I'm going to need you to send me the oxtail recipe because I sure got some and I can't wait. Send me your oxtail recipe. And because I got some in my freezer, but I can't wait to get to the content. Milton has this question. He says, we're on food. Milton says, as a diabetic, I've been working on my health. Fresh fruits and veggies would be great for me. What is your favorite food dish so far when you were in Kenya? Okay. What's your favorite? So we got to try.
Okay, so I'm going to keep it a buck.
Okay.
I love me some Kenya.
Okay.
And East Africa. But when I was doing my research, Mr. Milton, before I left, and I was looking at other Americans that moved to East Africa, they said one thing, you better bring your seasoning. The food in East Africa will keep you slim. Okay. Okay. It will keep now over in West Africa.
They got the food.
I was married to a guy from Sierra Leone. I know Nigerians. I'm from the West African food, hands down, beats everything. East African food is very
Arabic.
Is that right there. So in the morning when I lived there, I probably lost about 15, 20 pounds when I was there. So it was hard for me to find, they were big on beans. I get, not pork and beans because they don't do pork. The chapatis. For me to get that heaviness in my breakfast, I had to do a chapati. So I would do, for my typical breakfast would be a Spanish omelet. And it was it was like this big. It wasn't like what we use, the American size. It was portions that you're supposed to do. So it was a Spanish omelet, and the Spanish omelet was basically, just green and orange and yellow peppers on,
Oh.
in a little omelet. Then I had chapati, two chapatis, and then I had like 2 to 3 samosas because I
Mm.
was used to that heavy breakfast. But they would do tea, chapati, and some beans. They
Mm.
like it looks like pork and beans to us, but it's beans. That would be the breakfast, and then you had some like greens that you can like get from the tree. It's like michi or something like that. That was in abundance. And then for dinner, so that would be my breakfast. And that would last me all day. That would last me all day. I would make sure I kept water bottles. Like they have the big liter, and I would probably go through on the coast because it
Mm-hmm.
was so hot. I would go through easily 4 of those big liter bottles
Bottles.
per day. And I definitely had to have at least 1 or 2 of them at night, to keep me hydrated. So
So
and
how
then
much
I,
the cost? What's the cost of like your chapatis and your
oh,
water?
for my breakfast
Okay.
was 500 shillings.
Okay.
No, it wasn't even that. Probably 350, 400 shillings. So that's about $3 or $4 for breakfast. And that was a full breakfast, including coffee or tea.
Mm-hmm.
And they make all of their juices. And he was talking about diabetes. And I have, I'm diabetic also. I stayed away from mangoes because they have plentiful mangoes, but with the high sugar content, my doctor had recommended that I really didn't do too much or any mangoes or bananas because of the high sugar content, even though it's natural. But um they would make their own avocado. They would have the passion fruit from real. Like this was not coming out of a box. This was fresh juice. So that was also included. Coffee, juice, the omelet, chapati, and samosas was like 500, 550 shillings.
Mm-hmm.
Quick funny story. I was there with a friend, my boyfriend at that time, and we were having breakfast. He ordered avocado juice. I ordered like the tamarind juice or passion fruit juice. So I was like, avocado juice. So I asked the people at the restaurant, I said, oh, that's interesting. Avocado juice. What is it made out of? So the guy looks at me weird. He says avocados.
American.
Oh
American.
my God, did my American? I was like, wow, that's interesting. I've never like heard of that. What is it made out of? He was like avocados. I was like, whoa,
That would be
that
me.
that was hilarious. That was hilarious. But yeah, just everything fresh, and it showed. And when I would be on the live, because I would go on live when I would be there, and people would say, oh my God, Gloria, you're glowing so much. It's just the whole environment.
Mm-hmm.
It's the whole environment. It's what you're putting in your food, and that was, well, the food that you put in your body. And that was just the start of my body healing, because I went for years like in excruciating pain, taking ibuprofen, not
Mm.
being able to walk 10 feet, just joint pain and everything. And today, with just that pace, um, I get up. A lot of people my age will say, oh my God, when I get up, I'm just so, aches and pains and bent over, and it takes me a minute. And I used to be one of those people, like when it would take me forever to get out the bed and everything. Now I get up, I'm not like a early bird. So it'll take me a minute. But as soon as I, hit the floor and get in the
Yeah.
shower, I'm good till 15 hours, 18 hours later, I'm good at 60. So it has definitely
No. Not 60. No, you're not.
Yes, child. That's a big, and I'm trying to say it because I don't act it. I ain't trying to think it. I be giving them 30-year-olds a run for their money, trust. Okay. But yeah, that 60 is a big number. All me and my girlfriends, I'm going to a party tomorrow, my fourth party for the year of us turning 60.
60.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, so
60.
Papa Mad Peoples. Look at 60. Go 60 go. Mad People says, good luck. Maybe you should ask Dr. Moonby if Moonby Saraki if Kenya is a safe place to visit. This was the comment I was looking for. We
Okay.
already talked about that. But yes, talk to the speaker. You talked about the safety. This
Yeah.
person is being cheeky. This person is being very cheeky. I told you the story. I'll have to send you the link,
Okay.
Gloria,
Uh,
so you can know who Dr. Moonby is. And I
yeah.
won't tell you the backstory on that.
Okay. Okay. Well, the safety. Now, what I have noticed, the more,
Y'all are bad.
the more, the more the area is of people, is where it, kind of gets a little risky, a little risky. And I'm going to share with you. So I spent most of my time, my first couple of visits, in Watamu. Watamu is on the north coast. Watamu is very, very, very coastal, not even a town. Malindi and Mombasa, more of a town. This is more of like a village. And my niece and I would ride in ATVs through Watamu. So a lot of Watamu has like two paved streets, okay, two paved main streets. And we had driven, down a road. So you would see like this dirt road, but it's a road. And how do you know it's like a street? No, there's no addresses. Okay. There's nobody. I said, does where y'all get your mail from? There's no street name. Like, where do you pick up? Who comes to get your trash? And my boyfriend at the time said, "Oh no, we burn our trash. You got to be rich to get trash pickup. Like that's like a specialty." I was like, "What?" I'm like, "Where do y'all get your mail if somebody wants to write you? You have to go to like the mail place. Like it's very coastal, but it's oasis. It's beautiful. That's where all the white folks from Italy is hiding. Just telling y'all.
That's
And
telling.
they just tell. And I couldn't afford a house there, and it has no infrastructure. But in 5 years, it's gonna be the place where it's everything is going because I see like building. It's a lot of Italians sold everything in Italy, putting all their money in businesses together and whatever mob money they got left or whatever. They are building this part up. And what I was getting to before, Malindi was heavy in that back in the day, like in the 60s. And you see that a lot of things are very embellished and very like beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But they, for whatever reason, they've died off. And now it's the generations that are kind of putting it together. But now they're in Watamu.
Diani. Oh, there. Okay.
Yeah, and no, in Watamu. They're not going to Diani because anything that's very touristy, a lot of people, they want to hide. They want to be in places where they're not picked up. So you will not see, when you go to Nairobi, you see all black people. You don't see many white folks, okay? But if you go to the coast, you're like, am I in Africa? Am I in Africa? But going back to the safety, so my niece and I were riding the ATV. So I had my wallet like on like the seat of the ATV. So I wasn't thinking about anything. So we ride down this, dirt road, where we ride off the main road. So we're riding maybe a half mile down. All of a sudden, it's these guys on bajajis coming, trying to call for us. So, we always get hollered at. Okay. So we're like, oh, okay. Hey, how you doing? They was like, no, miss. Why did they have my wallet that bounced and dropped off the bike when I guess we turned? and they chased us down, didn't go through my wallet. They chased us down and gave me back my wallet with all of my stuff in. Now that's what Tamu. In Malindi, they probably would have just took your wallet, right? And gave you an empty wallet. In Nairobi, forget about it. You know what I'm saying? Just like in every other place. If you're in a little small, quaint town, you can leave, your computer down, on a table, and you'll come back and maybe there later on that afternoon. But if you go to more of a populated city, probably not. So it's very different, but in a lot of ways, a lot of the same of just how people operate.
Everywhere around the world. Yeah.
Everywhere around the world. And then when I used to live in Watamu for the 3 months, we would go clubbing every weekend. So Friday, from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It was clubs, and the clubs were pretty close together. It was a set of clubs that was right next door. So I would walk home 2-3 o'clock in the morning. Nobody bothered me. Everybody mind their business. But if I'm in Nairobi, it may be a little different. But nothing, and not one American person really should roll out their mouth that they got issues with safety somewhere.
Lord.
Really
didn't go there.
Like seriously, like they should not roll out their mouth about the concern for safety if you're able to function in this America of what they've had. What last year was over 400 mass shootings. But you're concerned about the safety in a place that doesn't allow guns. If somebody's going to snatch your bag, that's all you got to worry about.
Yeah.
If that happens, but we've been conditioned, I can't beat up. We've been conditioned that America, no matter what the faults are, we the best. We the best and the baddest and everything like that. And people are realizing, and not just us as Black Americans, white folks too. I talked to a lot of white people and they are over it too. Because guess what? Now the playing level they have made us be 10 times better when they were rolling on the emphasis of being white and not putting the work in. We put the work in. We put the work in 10 times more when they just got the referral. Now all that stuff gone to the wayside. And now, everybody's slippers is about to show. Yeah. So you can't roll on being white and this person hooked you. Those days are gone. And I see it in those streets that they are stressed. I talked to this white guy really quickly. I talked to this young white guy one day and he was saying, we was talking just about how much it costs. He's in Atlanta. And he said, and he's not the only person, he said he doesn't know if him and his wife, they're 39, almost 40. They haven't had kids yet. And I said, why haven't you? Well, houses are $400,000, $600,000. We can't afford that. Yeah, and I said, well, I said, well, you want to have children, that's a legacy. And he said, yes, but I don't want to raise them in an apartment. And that's all I can afford. So that's where the white folks are. Like, they don't know how to make it under any circumstance. So that's how they live in their life. So they will not have children and be childless or whatever because they don't know how to struggle and get through it like we do. This is all new to them. Yeah. They don't know. Now, so that's why we're continuing to thrive while they are slipping because so I'm telling you this shift, I see God making this shift and it's going to be very interesting.
It's going to be interesting. So Synolve has a question. Very good. Some of the chats are not showing up on my TV. YouTube hid my chat message, hides my chat messages sometimes. One of the things you can do is try to refresh it, Synolve, and come out and come back in. And that might help sometimes. That's what I do. So Kenyan living abroad, talk of Kenyan constitution, how progressive it is. I guess that's what is making the country better, but it wasn't easy to come by, and people fought for it. You know, the one thing about American culture is that you have a constitution that was built on slavery. You have a constitution that says people are created equal. But the writers of the Constitution, because I hate to say founding fathers, that really irks the anyway. The writers of the Constitution owned slaves, as they were saying, people, all
Right.
men are created equal. Now they didn't say all women. Now they said all men. And
Well,
remember, we were not considered
people
men,
like
right? Like we
humans.
were not considered people.
We
Two
were
thirds,
not.
one fifth. What was it? I mean, I don't.
3/5, three
Three fifths.
fifths.
There you go. You
Yeah,
my math. There you go, honey. Okay, so
three
now Miss
fifths,
Miss Glow, you take it.
3/5.
It's a dichotomy. It's you know, these people are very. I don't even know what I don't even know what liars. I don't know even what the word is to be, you know, not to be blunt, but Kenya, Africa itself has the opportunity, but has made great strides in creating a constitution,
Yes,
creating when they create democracy, when they create, it's very different from and even in places where there is no democracy per se, because I think that's forced on people. I had this conversation with someone. Is there something greater than democracy? I've said this in videos before. Look at what's happening in Burkina Faso.
mm,
They call this a democracy. This is US. But think about other, and it's not. Think about other types, and we know from African history, right, that there were great societies throughout history in Mali, in Chad,
kingdoms,
and not
kingdoms,
kingdoms, right?
kingdoms,
And
where it was
so,
kings and queens that were over kingdoms before Christ. It was
right.
women running kingdoms.
And the West has gotten their society and their basis of democracy and all the ideologies that they so-called serve, while they were burning down, getting the noses off the pharaoh, hitting the noses off the pharaohs, and they were burning down all of the Timbuktu, burning the books, and all of the, you know, stuff that went on in Mali. These great kingdoms, Chad has amazing gold. Here we are, and we look to the West, right, as building amazing cultures. And I'm glad you brought this up, Kenya living abroad. That, and I know you're gonna be changing your name to Kenya living in Kenya, but I'm just so we've seen that this doesn't work. That this doesn't work because they still have had to go back, even for the gods and the goddesses. Okay, they still have stolen this from Africa. They've stolen this from Africa. It's just that we don't know it, and they've created these amazing Africa as it reveals itself, reclaiming itself from colonization, is building something amazing, and we want to be a part of it. We have to be a part of it, right?
Mhm.
um Zenobia says, "Thank you, Miss Glow. I will definitely look you up before I go to Kenya." Yes, book with Miss Glow. I have
Yeah,
look in the description box because
I
I
will
have
put
her information.
yes, I love travel, and I'll put an awesome, no matter where y'all want to go, I can curate great travel for you. If you say, okay, I want to go to Kenya, I'll get you to go to also Egypt for
Mm,
free.
mm,
Because one of my specialties are layovers, and I have clients now that are in Kenya, and they left the states. They stopped in Egypt, did the pyramids. They said it was just mind boggling, and then
wow.
they're in Nairobi now, and as we speak, they're sleepy eyed going to the safari because they were being picked up at 5, and then later on this week they're going to the coast, so they're going to be on the coast and chill out on the water. Then after that they're going to Dubai. So I love to put itineraries together that are outstanding. I have another group going out next week doing kind of the same itinerary. They're not doing Dubai, and then I have another group going out next month, and their family. Not I don't do big groups necessarily, just family, and they're doing 5 countries. They're doing um, they're doing Egypt, Nairobi, Tanzania, Zanzibar, Stone Town, Johannesburg, and Dubai. It's a
Mm.
like 2 weeks, 2 weeks. So I love to travel. If y'all need any travel, I specialize. My niche is Africa, is the continent of Africa, but I can book you anywhere, based on just my history and my experience in the travel industry, with American Express, but even my travel. I'm a 50 plus traveler. I'm a solo traveler. So anything that I do, I book you like I book me. I do a whole ton of research and really stretch that dollar, so you're not just going, oh, I want to go to Kenya. So you're just going to Kenya. But it's again 54 countries. So don't you want to go to, another part? And I'll make that happen for you. Definitely would love to assist and talk to anyone that has questions, because this is a process moving to the continent. This is, it's a big thing to move from city to city. But when you're going to another, not just city or country, continent,
Mm-hmm.
we really have to understand it's a whole different um, culture, move, and that's what I'm going through. And I hope Synolve invite me and we can really get into the nitty gritty of the process of moving. I
Yeah,
did. I Yeah. I
of
do have
course.
a yes. Yes, ma'am.
Of course.
Yeah, and I do have a guide. It's 12 months step by step on expatriation to the continent. What you need to do, like what we saying, you got to downsize. There's a lot of things that you have to do to prepare, because what I stress to people, this is an emotional thing to do, but don't do things emotionally. You need to have a plan, like they say, with women that wants to leave there, you just don't jump up. You plan it out so it could be a good exit. And because what you don't want to do is go through all of this, get over to Africa, where I've heard so many people happen, and then they back in the United States because they did not plan properly.
Plan.
So you have to plan properly.
All
Yeah,
right.
you and just trust the process. Trust the process and plan, and just have your eyes focused on getting over there. I haven't bought any extra piece of anything, because I'm like, oh no, that could be my Africa stuff, because it will cost, and another thing we'll talk about, the cost of immigration, for you to really do business and move. I'm trying to get a mortgage. So mortgages are new there. So I've had challenges with that. But with that, you have to get your immigration, and it's different types of residence and visas that you have to get. And Africa's not playing. These countries
Mhm.
not playing. They're not taking the United States randoms. You gotta you gotta pay the cost to be the boss. And
Yeah.
for Kenya, as I'm going through it now, I got a retirement visa, Visa K, that most of y'all would get, unless y'all want to get your citizenship and get citizenship through investment. Citizenship through investment is with $100,000 sitting in the bank. I don't have that. So Visa K is a retirement visa that, as long as you're over 35 and you have at least $24,000 coming through your bank account per year, you will qualify for that. Okay, it sounds easy enough. It's going to cost you to get that between $2,000 and $5,800.
Okay.
So that's where it's like, ooh, ooh. And that's not included the person that processes it for you, and that's where you got to be careful. It was someone in the chat that said they've run into, some
Joker.
characters. Yeah, yeah. You with that, be careful. Like check to check. Like if someone refers you to someone, okay, you check that out. Then you ask that person that referred you, but then find someone else that knows that person. You got to watch your back, because although they are laid back, real talk, passive aggressive on a whole nother level. So you know, the nice, soft spoken, not loud, not, but they'll get you. They'll ghost you. They will return you, and you're going crazy. And I'm like, you know, I'm 6,000 miles away. Don't pick up your phone, and they won't if they don't like confrontation. So they're
It
just
will make
ghosting.
your prayer life strong.
Honey, my relationship with the Lord has on a whole nother level. It's process. Oh my gosh. But
We're
anyway,
gonna anyway. We're gonna get through these because we have been on here an hour, 2 hours and 14 minutes.
I
So
love
we
it. I love
and
it.
it's 10 o'clock. So we are going to. I know it's Milton's bedtime. So we are. I'm messing with you, babe. So we are doing. We're gonna get through these comments. Doing
Yes.
Garvey TV says Burkina, and we're gonna have her back. Okay, so y'all know we're gonna have her back, and we'll talk about citizenship next time. So
Mm-hmm.
doing Garvey TV says Burkina Faso will be my vibe right now because the Black Revolution is taking place there. Now I have a video that I dropped today on the Burkina Faso citizenship. This is straight out from the government. Um, I um, I listened to the government's announcement that they did with their minister of justice and human rights. So I published that video today. Please go check it out if you are interested in citizenship in Burkina Faso.
It's
Uh,
free.
yeah,
It's not $5,800. It's free. I'm telling
Zenobia
you.
Indigo says, what's the difference between the coast and Kenya time? Milton answered that. He said Kenya is 7 hours ahead. Zenobia said,
7 to 8.
thank you, brother Milton. You know we family over here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
YPM123 said Kenyan Gen Z, stay on Wuto's neck. You better ask somebody. He had to issue a pathetic apology to the Gen
They
Z.
sure did. He sure did.
Kenya living abroad said the leased is owned by any the leasehold. I'm sorry, it's owned by anyone. It means the land is yours, and annually you pay land rates to local government too, but you have
Mm-hmm.
to renew it before the last 5 years lapse, and the government will notify you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Natural Yard says, great conversation. Thank you for that, Kenyan Living Abroad. We appreciate you sharing that about the leasehold and how that works. We really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Y'all are powerful in this chat, and I love y'all and thank y'all so much for chiming in. This is a great conversation, says Natural
And
Yard.
share, because people always
Please
asking, well,
share.
what happened? Share,
Please share this with
sharing
every
is
one of you.
caring.
Yes, every one of you in this live right now, share the video. Hope to see
Yes.
more of your lives in the future. Jamaican in Boston. What you say, man? Okay.
Mhm.
Look, and you are in Boston.
Boston.
We're gonna have to come on up there through that way and get some jerk chicken and what we need. Mel, what we need. We need to put our order in the comments. Okay, so Kenyan living abroad says, I guess it's the law, not him at all. He's been guided by the Constitution law. That's why he dropped the financial bill last year because it was unconstitutional.
Mhm.
Beautiful, says Synovia. Well made. She's
Mhm.
talking about your purses. Okay, beautiful. Well made. All right,
Thank
check
you.
Joker Jock brand items. I think it's better than Gucci and it's pure leather. Okay, y'all. I hope y'all got y'all notes because look, what these folks are dropping. Look in the comments in the chat, and then Miss Glow is
Mhm.
dropping the knowledge. Okay, brand. Okay, I'm gonna look that up, sir. I am gonna look that up.
What's the name of it? Could you pin
It
it, or what's the name of it?
it's on the screen. It's JOKA Joker Jock JOK brand.
J
So the
O K A.
A and the next word is JOK
Okay.
brand.
Yes.
Uh,
Oh, Also, what I love about Kenya also and in Nairobi, because there's a lot of Americans, a lot of folks. I follow this one guy. He's out of DC, and his name is Troy from Philly. He has such a vibe. And in Nairobi, like he said, when he's in the States, you go to the store to get his clothes. In Kenya, it's like old school. You get your
Woo!
clothes tailored. You get your clothes handmade. The men gets their clothes handmade. And he said that when he lived in the States, one suit would cost like $2,000. He
Wow.
said he can get an clothing for an entire season
Wow.
for less than $1,000.
Mm-mm. That's amazing.
Hand, all tailored. And his clothes are wonderful. And he says he goes to certain designers that's right there in Nairobi, the whole nine. I've also seen that Nairobi has a polo club.
Ooh.
Nairobi has a derby. And what's wonderful to see, it's all black. They do their polo, their Sunday polo, and the membership is only like $200 a year.
Wow.
And
Nice.
they have the Sunday brunches, and it's a vibe. Y'all got to go on YouTube and pull
Mm.
up Nairobi Polo Club.
Okay.
A vibe.
Nairobi.
Nairobi is a vibe, honey. Nairobi is the turn up, is the vibe. It has rooftop restaurants, everything.
Everything.
Nairobi, yes, Kenya is the next place. But the other countries are coming around real quick,
Yeah.
really quick.
Yeah.
Botswana,
Mhm.
Botswana,
Not
they pay
Namibia.
for their people's education all the way until they graduate college and give them a stipend to stay in school. Botswana is another one
Yeah.
that people are sleeping on. Yeah. Namibia, sleeping on. Like out of the 54 countries, there may be 9 that's like, I don't know. But then you have 45 countries that that is building like crazy, is growing like crazy. So it just doesn't have to be Kenya. Kenya is wonderful. Kenya is the Silicon Valley of Africa,
Right.
but there's other 45 countries to choose from. And
Look.
I've gone through every single one. It's the 45 other countries you can go and thrive, not live, thrive.
All right. Look, you heard it from Miss Glow. But I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm gonna need y'all to go and come on to Africa, all you good people. It's my cousins, so y'all can be around me. So we can have cousins. So we can barbecue, we can hang out, we can go shopping. Speaking of shopping, Milton Craft Bay said he's trying to pick a fight over here with you, Miss Glow. He said you had to show that purse. You had to show that. Now I got to start a bag fund. You had he look. He said
You
you just had to go do it.
start a bag fund. That's the wonderful part. You don't have to start a bag fund. All my purses are under $150. It's
Mm.
no bag fund. People spend $150 on 2 weeks Starbucks.
You need to start a bag fund. Don't listen to what she. You need. To, ah, oh, Miss Zenobia said I will definitely check out Joker Joke brand. Okay, so that is good, girl.
Me
And
too.
when you do, look, when you do, don't forget your sister. Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
gonna look at it too.
Doing Garvey TV says Colton. I think it's Colton. I think we went over these. YPM, same sister. I boycotted everything everything from France. You
Yeah,
better ask
yeah,
somebody.
yeah.
Milton Craft says not going to Paris. I agree. Okay, that is fire. I think she's talking about those purses still at your yard. According to is
AnastasiaAfrica.com. Anastacia, Anastacia, Africa.com.
okay.
But the bags that you see online, because they sell so quick, are usually not there. I will give you a personal tour of what I have in inventory at the moment, but you can also get them custom made. When I go over to Kenya, I did several deltas, Divine Nine, and people got their girlfriends or line sisters, aka color bags, green at the top, all of it. You can get them custom. I even had two young ladies that was from the Bahamas, and they wanted the Bahamian
Color.
flag made. So
Oh,
the
nice.
young, yeah, we gave the person a picture of the Bahamian flag, and they made the bag the Bahamian flag. It was wonderful. So you can get it
Mm,
custom. You can get
I
it
love
custom,
that.
and still it's still under $200.
Babe, you hear that? You can get it custom. Okay.
Yeah, you
All
can get
right,
it
next
custom.
yard. According to Google, nickel, manganese, cobalt, graphite are in the lithium batteries.
Mm-hmm.
YPM123 says, and they sell chocolates in Belgium and act like it's Belgium. Belgium used to
It's
cut off
not. It's from
police
Kenya.
hands if they didn't pick enough rubber. I mean, that
Everything
part.
comes from Africa. Don't let
Mm-hmm.
nobody tell you anything.
Mm-hmm. That's
Africa
right.
is the motherland, and not as a cliche.
Mm-hmm. That's right. YPM123 says Synovia. Yes. We have a history. We do. Natural Yard says, I would love to go to the continent. I am Jamaican, and the biggest part of my makeup is Ghanaian and Nigerian.
Mm-hmm.
Well, while you over in Ghana, Miss Glow can book you a trip so you can go to Ghana,
Mm-hmm.
Nigeria, and then hop on over to Kenya to see your cousin. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so make sure, Natural Yard, that you check
Paris,
out Miss
I may
Glow.
go to Cookout.
Zenobia Indigo says, "You are conscious, my sister." Yes, she is. Glow is conscious. Yes, she is. Oliver Yavet says the region
I
is in
get
a
this.
civil war in Ethiopia. Ethiopia versus Eritrea anytime. Somalia is in a civil war. We're talking about these countries that you might not be on the top of your list. Both Sudan are in civil war. Uganda is starting, and soon there may be a regional war in that country. Interesting to hear about Uganda. I think most of us know about what's going on in Ethiopia and what's going on with Eritrea with the water supply. I guess the Nile River. I think it's the Nile River. Correct me if I'm wrong. And so there's a lot that's going on, and you've got quite a few people from Eritrea who have moved to Kenya. So that's interesting. Oliver Yvette says Kenya is in boiling for civil unrest. Kenyans versus Indians versus Somalia. That is interesting. That's very interesting as well, that there is that there is possibly a civil war or unrest that is boiling in Kenya. I just think sometimes that just because you see differences doesn't necessarily mean that it's boiling over for unrest. I think with Kenyans and some Indians, some of this is just a time that's come because Kenyans were at one point, a lot of East Africa, of course, at one point was colonized by Indians. So I think you may always have some of that. Um, that's going on. Just look, if you want to see unrest, look at what's happening in the America right now. Can someone drop um Miss Glow's YouTube channel in the chat? um Milton had it up here. Synovia is 50 Shades of Glow. If you
Mm-hmm.
look that up, you'll see her face, and I have her face on the thumbnail. You see her face, but it's if I'm not mistaken, it's 50 Shades of Glow, Miss Glow. That is the YouTube channel. Am I going out? Oh, I came back in. Okay, so there is that. And I will link it if you don't see it. I will link it in the description. Okay. Um, Kenya living abroad. Remember, we have tribes that were absorbed into the Kenyan community as tribes of Kenya. This are Shona, Indian, Mukandi. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. What are you guys waiting for? But come as one is the main aim. We coming. We are coming. Oh, there it is. Milton has dropped it. Thank you so much, Milton.
Thank
Here
you,
you are, Synolve.
Milton.
Oh, y'all own it. Why was I even thinking this? Because she's saying thank you, brother Milton. You've already, Kenyan, you've already done it. I know Bay is on it. Okay, Bay is number one. Bay is on it, on his job as producer. Okay, executive producer. Thank you, brother Milton. Much appreciated. Kenya living abroad on Doctor. And by the way, why are we talking about Milton? Go over and check out Milton's Milton's YouTube channel. Just look up the name Milton Craft. It will have Milton Craft 901. At the or yeah, it'll have Milton Craft 901 when you look it up. So go and check it out. Check out his YouTube channel. He's got some interesting things that he talks about over there. And show him some support. Show him some support. Okay. Now we're gonna keep on through these comments. Let me go back. Oh, here it is. Y'all talk about Dr. Saraki. Y'all trying to get me in trouble with Rudo over here. Y'all trying to doctor, but no, that is not an easy thing to do, because if it was another country, they would not be us, because such incidences could take the country in a bad place, because Kenya is mama. What is mama? That's interesting. I gotta look that word up. Okay. Now I gotta make a note. Okay. We're gonna look that up. YP123 says before colonization, the Africans moved freely around the continent. There was Bantu migration. Exactly. And speaking of that, it's very interesting, because possibly you could have possibly you could have ancestry that is Kenyan. It's not it's not impossible, because people move freely throughout the continent, throughout traveled. The Fulanis, they traveled, and they with their livestock and moved to all around East Africa, West Africa. They're one of the largest tribes on Africa. This is why you have Swahili, Kiswahili. You have so many different versions of Swahili throughout Africa, and some Swahili words that are sometimes mixed in within different languages across West Africa. Although Swahili, is mostly considered East Africa. So yeah, it's definitely true that you could definitely have that. You could have that. All right, that lineage. Welcome to Kenya Caribou. Looking forward to seeing you integrated, says Isabella. Stacy, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm saying thank you so much like I'm already there, but I'm sure this was meant for Miss Glow. Synolve, your hair is beautiful.
I love Synolve's hair. Like her
Thank
hair
you.
is like so like old school thick. You know it's real, and it's like old school. I looked at her hair from the time we got on today, and I'm like, people don't have hair like that anymore.
She don't have a name, but we let her do what she gonna do, because one day she is curly and one day she wants to be straight. She just do, girl, she just do what she want to do. Synovia says, and I appreciate y'all. Y'all so sweet. I love y'all. Thank y'all. Synovia says to you, Miss Glow, I just subscribed. Milton says, do you have on two
It be a
devices?
struggle, girl. I don't know how they can get enough. It be a struggle bus to get them subscribers down. Struggle bus. I'll get there one day. It's all right.
Y'all
Thank
go over
you.
and subscribe and support her channel. Watch the videos. Look, I tell people, play the video. Go to the kitchen, wash your dishes, go outside.
Yeah, right. We got to get them those views. Because not the subscribers, the views.
Yeah, watch the playlist. Right. Go look. Do what you got to do.
And just go and just let it run. Just let it run.
Let it run. Let it play. Milton said, "Do you have?" Thank you, my executive producer. Do you have two devices on? Yes, sir. Your hubby is so supportive. He really is. How long have we been married, girl? Since 1994. Yes, I've been with my husband since 1991. We met in.
Wow.
That's a whole other story over there. All right. Victor Macharia says the land of Hakuna Matata. The land of Hakuna Matata. Enjoy Kenya, sis. And then
Santi Sana.
he says, I am not even gonna say Wakenya ni Wakarimu na Tunapeda Wagane. I have all the way messed up these words with this southern accent, but I am going. Hubby and I were talking about today. We are going to learn um what's the language?
Swahili.
Swahili.
Swahili. Yeah.
Y'all look. Menopause. Don't memory. Okay. Rama Stoner says, Kenya, we got houses, nobody's living outside, but we be, I don't know what that tuss is. Okay. Yeah. Yes. I love the comments when I get the comments that ask, do you live in huts and do you live in the trees? Do you sleep in that is it's a continent, but okay. Naturally, y'all, by the time you get to this comment, I'll be offline. Looking forward to more live. Peace and love. Aw, by the time I get, well, you look, I'm always here, and we will be doing more lives. Synovia says, I'm on my way for those oxtails. Yes, Synovia, it's true.
$3.50 for 4 pounds of oxtail.
Yes, Synovia says it's true. We age backwards once we land on the motherland. Synovia, do you know the process of starting your own business in Kenya? We're not going to answer that tonight. We've been on 235, 2 hours and 35 minutes. But Synovia, girl, thank you. This is a good idea for a video.
What's
Right?
that?
We should do this. Do you know the process of starting your own business in Kenya? We're not going to ask that tonight, but we'll come back and do a live about that. How about that? Okay, we'll do that.
Yeah, because it's everything is a process, and it's not as easy. It's doable, but it's not easy as what people I see on YouTube. You know, oh yeah, da da da, and you got it, and it's easy. It's easy, but it's not an easy process.
Mm-hmm.
If it yeah. But you got to be all in. You have to. You can't have one foot on. You can't have. No, you can't. You got
now,
this Africa thing. You got to be all in.
all in.
All
Now,
in.
the Novia Indigo says same in Ghana is pretty safe. No gun violence because you can't have no guns. Okay.
That's it.
Jay Will. Jay Will. I'm trying to move to Kenya and trying to find the best way. I would love some info. Now you talked about if you go in the description box, you'll find her website because she does have a repatriation guide, and so you can download that, and then we're going to talk about repatriating to Kenya. We're going to come back and talk about that more. This is just about why she's moving to Kenya, why she chose Kenya. And so Jay Will, this is a great question. Look, sign up for my newsletter. It's in the description, and once you sign up for my newsletter, you'll get notifications when I go live. Also, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to Miss Glow's channel, because on her channel she covers these topics, and she's probably already done a video about that. So definitely subscribe. Honestly, we as blacks really need to stop putting whites in our lands. Will never like us as long as we have them in our lands. We will never be better. We need to face that truth. Oh, you better preach somebody. Come on, you preaching to the whole choir. King living abroad. Oliver, the unrest have been there since time. In the beginning of time. Come on, somebody.
They were foul to each other in the Roman times.
There you go. Feudalism, feudal wars. Come on. You have had this, the Scots against the Brits taking over, trying to take over and create a kingdom. They, before they even touched Africa, they were
it's in their DNA. It's in their DNA. They can't even help it. And a real quick funny thing is in Watamu, like I said, there's a lot of Europeans. mostly Italians. Do you know they don't get along? In Watamu, you go to the center of Watamu and you can make a left or a right. If you make a right, you're going to the British side. If you make a left, you're going to the Italian side.
Oh wow.
They do not speak. They can't stand each other. It's hilarious. Like people are watching Elon and Orange Guy, the same thing. And it's hilarious to see white folks at odds with each other. The Italians and the British can't stand each other in Watamu. And they live on two sides of the island and they do not mingle,
Mix.
not mix at all. But the Italian side, the Italians, they be at the beach parties getting it in with they black they be they be getting it in. I am gonna lie. On the British side, everybody sleep at 9 o'clock.
Oh,
Just
no.
as boring and dark. And
Yes.
people that know Kenya and the coast, they know what I'm talking about. The British side, 9 o'clock, it's dark, nothing going on, everybody in the house. On the Italian side, they at some hotel beach
At the
party
party.
to 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. So
Ain't no
the
party
Italians
like a King, like a Kenyan beach party. All right now. The roof is
to
on
like
fire
4 or 5 o'clock in the
in the
morning.
morning. Okay.
Yes.
Kenya has
And
been on peace forever. Kenyans are peaceful people.
they're very peaceful. Yeah.
Zenobia says, great advice. Thank you so much. She's talking to you, Miss Glow,
Mhm.
about traveling. So that's awesome. We're getting through these comments, y'all. We're almost there. Miss Glow is yawning. Kenya living abroad, they have been deliberate to change the law on immigration to allow people to settle in Kenya, but I guess they don't know how to do it. But also the citizenship who are also pushing it are the diaspora. We are pushing it, and I hope to see more changes in the pricing because I think the $100,000 to have a business is quite it's a lot. It's quite ridiculous. I think, of course, you want to show that you have the capacity to do a business, but I think also there is something to be said for talent. And yes, you do need to have money, but I think $100, 100,000 is a lot.
Yeah.
Milton says, great conversation tonight. Really enjoyed you both. Will says, wrap it up. Why would y'all?
No, I'm gonna get something to eat. No, you just caught me yawning. I'm going to get something to eat.
We almost done. We're almost through, y'all.
No,
Why
it's
Kenya
fine.
living abroad says, why would a billionaire ambassador want to stay in Kenya? I guess you got yeah, like me. I don't know.
A
Yeah.
billion. What was the question?
Why would a billionaire ambassador want to stay in Kenya? I guess you got guests like me. I'm not sure what that was, but
I don't
four
know,
cities
but Naomi Campbell owns a house down the street from me.
and Khalees is
And
millionaire,
Khalees owns just bought 300
100
acres of
acres.
yeah.
Yeah. And then there are others who live in Kenya.
Yeah.
Miss Glow is there. Kenya living abroad.
I don't
Four
have millions yet. It's on
oh
its
boy.
way.
Look, four cities are going up in Kenya from nature, and one is through the government, and the others are Kenyan owned. Interesting. This is Milton's YouTube channel. I know Tatu is going up. It's new. New city. I think that's the government that's doing that.
Mhm.
Nice. Thank you so much. Talk about those purses and all this good information. Welcome to Kenya. Our very last comment. Kenya living abroad. Watamu is crazy to think of this situation. Even Kenyans don't rock the British side. All right, come on, somebody.
He knows. He already knows. He knows.
Well, Miss Glow, we've got all your information down in the description box, of course, so that people can connect with you, connect with her YouTube channel.
Call
Check
me.
her
Y'all can
out.
call me too. I'm not funny acting. As long as there's no crazy stalkers, y'all can call me too.
And she is also on Facebook. Africa Awaits. So check her out. Very, very, very nice. We got Megan Whitman saying she wants to stay behind, and her words were slept on about Kenya. Yeah, I think a lot of people slept on Kenya.
Hmm.
So, any
It's
final
still time though.
words, Miss
Not much, but it's
Glow?
still time. It's not much time to get into Kenya, but it's still time because when I bought my house in at the end of 2023, I paid 145 and the shilling had dropped down to 0.66. Now my house is worth, the shilling went up to 0.77. So that made it about $15,000 more. But now they're selling the house for like 27 million. So that turns it into 209. So within 2 years, I have about $50,000 worth of equity. So it's moving quickly. So time, it's time because in 10 years, that same property will be 7 figures US. Because that's how it is in like what is it? Cape Town. You can't get a beach property in Cape Town for under $1 million. So it's coming. So get into Burkina Faso, get into Botswana, get into Namibia, get into even Cote d'Ivoire. Get into anywhere you can because this is the perfect time.
The time is now.
The time is now. Time is now. Like yesterday, really. It's now. Yeah. Yeah.
Very
you can't.
good.
Yeah. Well, thank y'all. I thank you for the invitation, Miss Synolve. You know, I love you to pieces. You've been a definite angel and blessing to me. I really thank you. I thank your tribe there that joined in on this conversation. It's a conversation that needs to be had, and we just don't need to talk about it. We need to be about it and make stuff happen.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Thank you so much, sis. I'm gonna put you in back so you can go get something to eat. Check her out on all her channels. Thank you so much, love. I appreciate you so much for being here. Y'all give her a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you. Give her
Thank you. Thank you. And I'll be back to do my lives. I'll be back to do my lives starting June 15th at 9 p.m. on Africa Waits.
Very good, y'all. All right.
Take care. Thank you. Bye, y'all. Take care.
So this has been amazing. I hope you learned so much. Kenya Living Abroad says, I will follow everyone. That is so amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. My dad bought a house 2 million key shilling 20 years ago, and today it's 30 million plus. This is why you invest. This is why you invest in Kenya. Because your dividends are going to be amazing. It's going to be worth it because Kenya is on the move. Oh, and so Megan Whitman, okay, she's the billionaire. I remember the name now that you've mentioned it. She's the billionaire ambassador that you were talking about. Okay, very good. Synolve says peace and blessings, love to you too much. Love to you too much. I'm sorry. I'm reading ahead of myself so fast. Synolve says peace and love to you. Two sisters chat and the moderator. I mean, this chat was amazing. This moderator, hubby, my executive producer, was absolutely amazing. Each of you in the chat, I am so grateful for you because you have made this conversation amazing. Miss Glow came with all of the powerful information. She came with the knowledge. She's she's just a wealth of knowledge. She has so much to share. And I wanted to, have her come on, but she's so busy. Because she is doing the dang thing. She's got property in that she's managing in Kenya, her property, her home on the beach, and then of course she has her travel business and her YouTube channel. She has a beautiful community on YouTube, and I am just so amazed by her and the work that she is doing. So please connect. I want to bring y'all good people. We haven't done lives. I've done one live, I think, this year. And I've kind of been off YouTube just a bit. But I am fully back because I know now we're back to our mission. We're back. And this is a call for me because I want to get our people home. I want you to come home. But I took some time because I wanted to explore some things for myself because I want to bring good research and bring good information for you. And I wanted to tap into investing on the continent. It's not just about coming home, it's that, but it's coming with a mindset of how we can invest and how we can grow and what we can give as much as the continent gives to us, and has so much to peace and love and freedom, because we deserve that as a people. We deserve peace. We deserve the beach. We deserve to go out and eat in peace and not have people asking us, driving through neighborhoods, are you supposed to be here, or looking at us crazy in stores. We deserve to be around our people who love us, who look at our brown skin, love our brown skin, who you can't tell the difference until we open our mouths, who we are. It's time. It is time. I reiterate what Miss Glow said. It's time for us to be free, completely free. We think we're free here, but it's time to have freedom and to have joy, and for our hearts to sing. It's time to have real Black joy. And that real Black joy exists on the continent with our brothers and sisters, with all of you. See how peaceful and happy we are when we get together? Oh, what a time we're going to have when we get to Africa. What a time we're going to have when y'all come show up at my house. Okay. On the motherland. Okay. I can't wait. I cannot wait. I am so grateful to Miss Gloria. I am so grateful to Glow for her insight and her wisdom and her business knowledge, the work that she does, and her truth. She shares her truth. This is Miss Gloria everywhere she goes, all the time. And I love that for her. I love that for me because, look, we all need a good friend in our lives. We all need sisters and brothers who are real and authentic and true. Thank you to Milton for being such an amazing executive producer and a moderator. He's my business partner. He's my business coach. Milton is my business coach. He is my husband. He is everything and all things. Okay, my baby daddy. Okay, you hear me? And I am so appreciative. Thank you to Synolve. Synolve's been riding with me for a long time, right? Y'all, some of y'all have been here with me since the very beginning, and I am so grateful to you all, to my tribe, to everybody, new and old. YPM, Isabella, Victor, Rama, Natural Yard's been riding me for a long time. I appreciate you. Joy, Will, Kenyan living abroad. Y'all are so amazing, y'all. I am so grateful, Isabella. I think I called your name, but yes, you guys have made this Doing Garvey TV. Thank you, Doing Garvey TV. Thank you so much for your insight and your wisdom. Mad peoples, yes, you was mad out here in these streets trying to make us laugh. Andrew, thank you for being here. Y'all, if I missed it, Born TV, thank you for being here. Everyone, you guys are simply amazing. I hope I didn't leave anybody out. If I left anybody out, charge it to my head, not to my heart. I am so grateful, and thank you. Thank you for being here. Y'all, please share this video. Share this video with somebody. And if you'd like to keep this kind of independent media where you're going to get the truth, okay? You want to keep this on the air, look down in the comments below. My Cash App is Synolve. You can send me a gift. You can join my channel and become a channel member. You can join me over on Patreon because we're going to get into some great opportunities for investment. You're going to want to be behind the scenes. Join my newsletter because it's time to invest. I agree, Synolve. Yes, it's time to invest in Africa and invest in ourselves. All right, guys, I love you guys so much. You know I do. I love y'all so much. I wouldn't do this if I didn't love y'all, and I do. So you guys be safe. You all make your plans to go back to the continent. Okay, make your plans. All right, and let me know what your plans are, because when you show up on the continent, we all show up, right? Because we are one. My heart is with you. My prayers are with you. My hope is in you because I know that you have the power to do something amazing in this world. And I know in the West, it has held all of us back from our exceptional, true talent and abilities to thrive and to create. But now the leash is off, the chains are broken, they are gone. And we have the opportunity to not only live, but to thrive. All right. I love you guys so much. I am so happy and so excited for you. I can't wait to see you show up on the continent. Write me when you do so I can interview you. Okay. All right. I love you guys so much. This is Synolve signing off. We will see y'all in another video real soon. Bye bye, guys.